Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. How about that KIDZ today and so many other poppers? The market was looking good and everything else. So let everybody hop on. How was everybody's day? First, all information presented here is for educational and informational purpose only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. And I see everybody hopping on. How are we? And let me switch right over so I don't forget. And again, that heat map right there. Our Mag 7 did close up, but I think some of them came back a little bit. I think Apple and Amazon, if I'm not mistaken, they did pull back. And actually, let me make sure that the mic is working right, because I was moving it around and I never even looked. Yeah, it's good to go. Here, let me pull this thing closer. Like I said, I was moving it around. It's still working perfect. All right. Just making sure right there. And there we go. All right. I won't hit the mute button or anything. Good evening, Doge Mama 9, Blue Collar, Teamster, and Laptop Travel, Luis Rodriguez, and the rest of the crew. How is everybody tonight? And I hope you guys had a great day. I mean, holy cow with that KIDZ. If that wasn't like the popper of the week right there, I don't know what would be. And just we'll look at it. We're going to go over everything anyway, but look at that thing. In the after hours, it was jumping up even higher. It is at like almost $8 or something, right? 8.56. It's at 7.92. That's a beauty. You know what I got in at 110. That's what I bought it at. 110 is what I saw it at. I got it at. So right there, that was the low right there that day, and I did scoop it up. That's what I had set it for. I know it dipped down. I think it didn't even dip down. I remember I saw it. I was like, oh, that's like 107's looking good, and it wasn't getting down there. So I scooped it up at that 110, and I am so glad I did, because holy cow, that was a blast off. I wasn't even paying attention to it this morning, and I just looked at it and went, wow, that's crazy. And yeah, your accounts will definitely reflect that crazy move like that. So there you go. And let's get cruising through our list, and we'll find the next KIDZ, because we find them all the time. And how about that? What was it? U-Car, was it? Or no, a Z-Car. This U-Car setting up, though. I'm telling you that might be driving up next. But that Zoom car ran way up, and we were looking at that. So we had two of them that ran well over 200% today, and we've been crushing it. But let's go through our list. I was just letting some people hop on there. So good evening, everybody. And thanks for tuning in. And here we go. Our logic mark, it was over 2 cents again. It wasn't starting out that well. I think it started out that way, but it had been down under 2 cents right there. That low right there, 0.0180. That's what it opened at. And then it got up into almost 3 cents at one point, and it's right over 2 cents right there. But it is looking good, I must say. Excuse me. And look at that bad boy curling up. And again, AGMH took its time too, and then it got flying. So I have a feeling tomorrow could be a pretty good day for it. So we'll be watching this LGMK again, and we'll obviously be watching our KIDZ. And Blue Collar Teamster liked that one. He liked the KIDZ call. That one definitely paid. I think a lot of people had jumped into that bit. I mean, holy cow, we're going over it right now. So yeah, logic mark not looking bad right there. You can see how it closed up, and it does look pretty good to me. And KIDZ, I mean, look at that big old fish hook. It had looked like that shell company. Them things have been running lately. And this doesn't even reflect it, because it's all the way up here at 791. So you're all the way up over the 50 right there. So yeah, right there is where it is. And this thing was cruising today. I mean, this thing was blasted off. And like I said, I mean, that hook was coming up. We knew it. And we've been timing them out pretty well. It had crossed through right there, and it still looked good. And then, bam, just make that move right out of the basement and just got flying, and then started really cruising in them after hours. So KIDZ, obviously, you're looking at it in the morning to see if it wants to run up some more. It looks like it wants to, guys. I mean, it jumped over to 50 and looks like it could have hit $10 plus. I mean, look at this thing. It's crazy looking. And so we'll have to see how it plays out in the morning. And I hope some people I locked in a few of them as it was running up there in the after hours. I was like, man, this thing's jumping up over $8. That's ridiculous right there. So definitely got to lock it up as it's going up there. You just never know how high it'll go, and leave some on the table. Make sure you obviously have some profits, and then you're playing with house money there. So that's what you want to try to do each time, and you'll continue to win if you try to do it that if you do it that way, you will. And obviously, you'll take a loss here and there, but not that crazy. And obviously, let's look at our next one, but KIDZ. Holy cow, and we'll see what it's doing in the morning. Take a look at it at that 4 a.m. See if it's running up some more, guys, because it very well could be. And BON, I'm telling you, this thing still has some juice in it. It's just pulling back. I'm letting it pull back right here. And I still think this thing still has something going on. So we're going to be watching it tomorrow to see if it's a good opportunity tomorrow to jump in, or if it's going to be a next weeker. But it does look pretty good to continue to set up. And our AGMH had run up there, and it is just kind of hanging out. This is halted, right? This is the one that's halted, I believe. And right, which one's halted? Holy cow, I wrote that on that, and it's not even that. Which one is halted? I can't even think now. Man, why is my brain? DMN is halted. I don't know why I wrote it on AG. I meant to write DMN next, and I don't know what the heck I was doing. I was kind of rushing. I had another T-ball game today, so my apologies. But let me write that down, because I was like, wait a second, this is not right at all. And it's DMN. That is halted. We'll go over it next. And I definitely wrote halt on AGMH, and then I meant to write DMN. That's why I was all confused. Anyway, AGMH, we were watching this to see if it wants to base out. It's still pulling back a little bit, and we'll see if it does want to base out. My apologies. I was all confused, and probably confusing you guys too. So sorry about that. But yeah, AGMH is pulling back a little. We'll see how far it wants to come down tomorrow and get a better look. And then that DMN, this one is the one that's obviously halted right here. And I knew the price, so I was like, wait, that's not right anyway. And yeah, they halted it the other day. And I believe it is what, May 20th, people were saying is what the date is that they're supposed to do whatever for the whatever happened. It was a T12 or something like that. So yeah, apparently it's May 20th that they're gonna have the hearing or whatever they're gonna do. So we might have to wait until like the end of May, right there, towards the end of May, just for this thing to move. So you may have some shares and money locked up right there until for a few weeks, it looks like, unless they're gonna do something sooner. But we'll obviously keep an eye on it and find out. Obviously, keep our ears on it too and hear if they're doing something. So if anybody does hear that they're trying to do something before May 20th, just let us know and we'll alert everybody, because you know how much I follow the news. But I did ask today and got a couple responses, and seemed like that was the date. So we'll keep an eye on that for DMN. How are you, Janica? Just hopping in right there, and a bunch of other people, so I can see the numbers going up. And good evening, everybody. Welcome to our live show that happens every night at 9 o'clock, and we just throw out poppers and 100% poppers nonstop across the board. And KIDZ was just an example of one of them today. So yeah, this is that DMN, and it's halted up. And it's we'll check it out on May 20th and see what's going on. And again, if anybody sees anything before that, just alert us and let us know. And this BDRX was pulling back a little bit, and I don't think it's going to last on the list much longer. So it never really got moving much. And like I said, look at it, unless it pops tomorrow, but I wasn't expecting it to. And so that one just kind of fell off, and they do that sometimes. But this hit had a nice dip today, and it almost looks like a little dip and rip look. So we may have to look at this hit today, tomorrow, and next week. You can see 59 to 62, and it closed towards that 62. So this one still may have an opportunity. And obviously the BDRX could, but it doesn't look perfect. And again, we're going to zero in on what's like looking the best, I think. Obviously, we'll go through a bunch of them, but really try to zone in on the ones like KIDZ and them things, because they're beautiful hits, and why not do it when they're running up over 300%? We get in early. We love that. And CLBR pulling back a little bit. It just had that pullback look today, and it didn't look like it wanted to really get cruising here. So it is pulling back. I think you might get a little more pullback on it, you can see, and then probably try to roll off some point up here. So we'll keep an eye on it. This is that one that Trump had mentioned, Trump Jr. or whatever, the other day. and I was keeping an eye just to see. It did have some good spikeage. I mean, you can see it opened at 1231, got up to 1288, came down to 1191, and it's at 1209. So it ran around a little bit right there, and it has the last few days, but it did spike up the other day really well, and then it's coming back down a little bit. And again, I think you're going to see it pull back a little bit more right there. And UOKA right here, let's take a look at this guy, and that's curling up. We do know, remember we were talking about it yesterday, saying it was going to curl up, and we like this thing. And what did that do right there? Because it looked like it was curling up bigger on that. What is this? Holy cow, that looks like two different worlds right there. Unless it came really down in the after hours, which it might have, down 20%. It had been curling up right there. And then look at that dip. Wow, that's crazy, because it was curling up right there. And even today it was trying to until the after hours, because you can see on this chart it was still there. Now it's a straight down. That's why I was quite confused right there, and that's why it would just be nice if the after hours are right. And again, they'll get them right. It's just not right yet. And yet it's hit that 20 and just came straight down. So might be another great opportunity on a dip on this one, because it was looking way better and trying to curl up, and it was running up today. I was going to say it wasn't looking bad right there today until the after hours. I didn't see that, but it was definitely cruising up there, had good movement today, and then got knocked way down. So UOKA is not so OKA tonight, I would say. Keep an eye on it, because that one definitely bounces back pretty quick. And so yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on UOKA, because that thing does like to run around a lot, and it could be a great opportunity. Like I said, I didn't see it pull back there. It was in the after hours. It had been looking good right there. And I just saw HKPD, and that is a good one right here. And let's look at it. It was up a little bit today, the last 2 days, actually. This is one that we had been looking at. And I think I just forgot to add it to the list the other day. And again, I kind of rushed the last couple days, 2 days. I was doing T-ball and all kinds of good stuff. So there you go. And let's see, HKPD. And then who did the reverse split? Who was that, Barbara, that voted the reverse split? I just saw that pop up. And let me see. I'm not sure. Who are you talking about? Who did the reverse split? Who are we just talking about? The UOKA, is that what happened if they reverse split? I forgot who we were talking about that fast. Let's see. You could be absolutely right. I didn't even scroll down. Oh, they had a delisting thing, but did they do a reverse split? Because they had a delisting, so it was very well possible, especially with a dip like that. So if that's the case, you know that we're going to be looking at that right there. So that's UOKA. Okay, so Barber saying that they had a reverse split. Yeah, they voted to reverse split probably today. So that's why it came back down, or came down pretty good today. Thank you, Barber, on that one. And see that, guys, I'm telling you, our show is awesome just because of you guys. I just kind of facilitate the show, and you guys send all kinds of great tickers. And of course, we go through the scanners and everything. But just like that, we're looking at one, no clue, and boom, I didn't even see anything down here. Barbara said that it probably reverse split. They were voting on it, and she's probably right, because a pullback like that is usually what that's from. That's why I was kind of confused. But anyway, we'll just keep an eye on it. And if it does reverse split, we're going to like it even better right there. So we will definitely keep an eye on that UOKA and see if it can be okay in the near future here in OCEA. Remember, we were looking at it last night, and I think I forget who it was. Oh, I can't remember his name, but he was posting a bunch. He comments a bunch of stuff. I'll remember it. My memory's horrible, but I was saying, Michael Anthony. I knew it was like it was like an easy name. That's what I was thinking. I was like, man, I know it's actually like my wife's like uncle's names, actually. So that's how I remembered it. I was trying to think of the two names. But anyway, Michael Anthony, it's literally their names. And so yeah, it shouldn't be too hard for me to remember. But again, remember I was saying we were just looking for that pop up there, and we're not looking for anything big. But look at that thing trying to run up, and that it was it. Oh wait, this was OCEA, and that did the this one was the one that did the OTC somebody was talking about, and that we were still talking about it over here. And I remember because it was looking good there, but that wasn't the exact setup, because it was an OTC, or And there you go. But it does still look like it popped up a little bit today. And I have it on my watch list. That's how I know. I just know it was up, and it was just moving up a little bit. I looked at it, and that's right. It was an OTC, or so yeah. Disregard this one because that's from the other day, and it did come over here, but it was up, and you can see right there it was running around. Like I said, I did see it up on my watch list. So, and that one might have to come off the watch list, being that it's an OTC, or I don't really pay attention to them, but I used to trade this one quite often there, and there you go. So that is how I knew that was up, now that I think about it. But look at that chart for an OTC. It's not looking bad right there. So might want to keep an eye on it and see what it wants to do in the morning. It's definitely looks like an opportunity right there. And again, I'll probably take it off because it did make that OTC, I believe. And yeah, we don't really follow many of them, but I did see it up. That's why I was like, wait a second. But yeah, I probably wouldn't jump into that one, being that it's the OTC, but it used to get traded quite often there, OCEA. And PTPI, wasn't this reverse splitting? I thought this was going to do a reverse split or something today. And then it was just like kind of dipping down, unless it's going to be tomorrow. Let's see, because I thought it said it on this chart. Yeah, reverse split, 1 for 25. Did the price not even move? I don't even understand if they reverse split and the price didn't do anything. How does that make any sense to anybody? I have no idea. Again, developing, I don't know what the hell they're developing. I don't really care. I was just I'm more concerned with that reverse split because I want to see the bounce off of it, but it just didn't look like a reverse split, but it said it was going to, and then right there it says 1 for 25. I have no idea. I would assume they would have made the price go up higher if it was reverse splitting, and wouldn't have stayed the exact same unless it was it right there? I don't really remember, guys, but I really thought it was reverse splitting and going to get moving. It's setting up for something, and we'll have to keep an eye on it. So I have no idea what's going on with this thing. What, PTPI was a penny yesterday? Is that what you guys are saying right now? And if maybe it was, I don't really remember now that I think about it. So if it was, then it was a reverse split right there, and it only made it go to 27 cents. That would be really bizarre. Is that what you guys are saying, Harry and Sam, that this one, PTPI, was this at a penny yesterday? I really don't remember. Now that you say that, that does kind of ring a bell, because it was way down there, like under a penny, wasn't it? Maybe. Now that you say that, I kind of do remember, maybe. But yeah, now it's only at 27 cents, and it's like pulling back, if that's the case. And you might be right about that. So yeah, maybe that was the 1 for 25, and let it get set up, pull back a little bit. Yeah, PTPI. Thank you, Harry Keller. And okay, yeah, I vaguely, like I'm telling you, it's just like never even happened. I vaguely remember PTPI being right around a penny, and so yeah, I even said it today. I thought it was reverse split, and I really was like, holy cow, I just totally forgot until you just said that. I totally forgot that it was that low. I just thought it was right around this price, to be completely honest with you. So that's my fault. And so yeah, it must have reverse split there, and it only went to 27 cents. I found it kind of bizarre. So we're definitely looking at it. I could tell you that right now. I don't think it's exactly ready just yet, but we're definitely going to be looking at it for tomorrow. So May 20th, and then I'll go to DMN. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Harry, Sam, and everybody else. And so PTPI, I'm definitely going to be tracking this one. It did reverse split. I was wrong, because it was like right at a penny yesterday. So now it's at 27 cents. They still can't even make compliance, but honestly, it's setting up to do something. So we'll track this one down and get this on the way up there. So, all right. So we know what we're talking about there. Thank you guys for helping me out with that one. And then Deep Soul Diving is going back to DMN, and he has some info. So May 20th, the NASDAQ hearings panel, management, I guess, Damon, that's the company name, will present its compliance plan, and panel will consider the delisting decision. The concern is the substantial dilution caused by March 20th offering. Oh, okay. So their concern is the substantial dilution caused by their March 20th offering. When the heck was that? I don't even. Was it March 20th? Oh, so they're going back to March? That's so bizarre. I got to see this now. And I appreciate that info right there. But we gotta see now. March 20th, they did something clearly. Yep, there you go. Upsized public offering. And then they did one, or unless it's the same one, but it looks like they're two different ones right there, but the same price. I have no idea. Maybe not. But yeah, there you go. There's an offering, and there's a concern on that substantial dilution. Okay, so there you go. And that's the info on DMN. Thank you, Deep Soul Diving. So I think we're waiting until May 20th. So if people have things tied up in that, unfortunately, we all have to wait until May 20th to find the outcome there, the cashless warrants, huh? So yeah, they had all kinds of cashless warrants and diluted the hell out of it, and that was pretty wild right there. So yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on that one for sure. Thank you very much. And then look right here, KIDZ and ZCAR, both of them just like poof. Beautiful hits right there, huh? The two that are the biggest poppers of the day. You know, we ripped right through them. So, all right. So, PTPI did do a reverse split, and I am keeping my eye on this thing now because this can have a very good potential coming back down there. And that's why we don't like to jump in on before a reverse split because they dip down even harder sometimes, but you got to wait for them to get set up and really run. So, let me watch that one, see what's happening there. And thank you for that info and clearing all that stuff up because I was definitely confused, which I guess isn't very hard to do. But Z-Car right here, this thing was flying. It was driving right along, beeping its horn today, going nuts. 459 to $18. And it closed at 10:52. So yeah, it was zooming right along the highway today, having a good old time. And again, we saw it the other day and we looked at it last night, and boom, there you go. That was another one, Z-Car right there. And honestly, I don't know. It's in the top. It has that look right there, like it's in the top. You can see it barely in there. It could go either way. I would say for 4 o'clock crew, I would be looking at that bad boy. There's Michael Anthony right there. I was just talking about you, Michael Anthony. Nothing bad. I was just trying to remember your name, and I was saying that it's both my uncle, my wife's uncle's names. So I was trying to remember, and I was like, how can I can't remember this name? But anyway, and I don't remember many names, but your name I might remember it. So, and anyway, we were talking about that OCEA, and I had crawled up, and I was just saying how yesterday we were talking about. We just look for the quick little pops there. Did you see that KIDZ today, Michael Anthony? That was a pretty good popper right there. But anyway, back to ZoomCar, which was another big popper today. And again, I'd be 4 o'clock crew, see if it stays in that top and runs up for momentum. So we'll keep an eye on ZoomCar right there in the morning and tomorrow. But that did zoom up today and did cruise right along. So that was a good one. And LGCB, this linkage global, was down a little bit, but I'm telling you guys, this thing looks like it's getting set up right here. LGCB. And you can kind of see it wants to roll off. You can see that look right there. So I think that's one you might want to keep your eye on. I bumped it up a little bit because it grabbed my attention today. And I said, I think this thing's getting set up right here. So keep an eye on the old linkage global right there, LGCB. And we'll look at Clue real quick. I forget what it was doing, to be honest with you. It looks like it wasn't doing anything. 187 to 194. And it doesn't look like it was doing a whole lot there. Let me take a better look over here. And wow, this thing actually looks like it could be getting set up in that crazy look right there. When you bring it right there and you have to blow it up, it's getting pretty close to doing something. I can tell you that. So we might have to keep this Clue on our list real quick. And I didn't even put this one on there, but let's just look at it real quick. It was pulling back yesterday, and let's see, it might try to crawl back up. I'll keep a little look at that one, but we'll keep an eye on that Clue because that one does have a crazy look. And had split not long ago, and we will look at it. And our HEPA was just kind of based out. I think that is your bottom right there. And this thing could just get cruising at any moment, I think. So you just got to keep a close eye on this one if you like it, and just kind of make sure you know what it's looking like. Because if it starts curling up right there and it keeps looking like it wants to, but it's not continuing its way up, you could see the other day it tried to. And Yeah, it doesn't look bad. Maybe it's a next week or so. We'll obviously keep an eye on good old Hepa right there. And yeah, that Michael Anthony said, "Did you see kids?" That's what I was just asking you. Did you see kids? I was talking about that yesterday. How we just played the poppers. Yeah, we were. I got in at 110, Michael Anthony. That's where we were in at 110, right down there at the bottom. So yeah, we had that one pretty nailed down, I must say. KIDZ was a pretty one today, I must say that. And then in the after hours, it was way better. I can tell you that. So OCGN right here was down just a little bit, nothing crazy, guys. More or less just getting set back up to pop. You can see it. So that's one we were pretty accurate on, I must say, and it's going to continue up. So they have something going on, and I have no clue what it is, but I've read it like 4 times and I couldn't tell you what it is, so we're not even gonna waste our time reading it because I won't even remember and it doesn't even matter. So Icon right here, just jumping around as you can see, and I'm telling you, this thing's trying to get set up as well. It had that weird look going, and we'll have to see exactly what it wants to do here because it's trying to get back to that 20 right there, and it's trying to do something. So Icon, I think, is trying to get moving. Look at it, trying to get up there. This is how they kind of start off, guys, and then they end up in that 20, curls up, and they've all had this huge channel where they really get cruising. So we'll keep an eye on this Icon as well. And obviously, there are so many of them great setups that are probably going to run big. Maybe not as big as KIDZ or AGMH, but they've been running pretty well for us. I have to say, we've picking multiple 100%ers on the daily with no problem. So again, it's impossible to even trade them all. You don't want to. You just want to pick the one like KIDZ I had. That was a beauty. And yeah, you don't have to get real crazy. I mean, right now with the penny ones, maybe 2 or 3, because the big caps, I mean, are a little tougher. Some of them are easy, like the Microsoft the other day. Luis Rodriguez has been having a field day with them. I know that. I just been having fun with these penny stocks again. It feels like old times. So I forgot what that was like. So I just kind of got back into them. And again, I'm not trying to buy every one of them. I promise you that. We had all 7 of them the other day on the third biggest day in Nasdaq's history, and again, you don't even want to try to trade them all. So you only need 1, maybe 2 if you want, and you're set. I mean, that KIDZ was perfect right there. That's all you needed. And so yeah, you don't have to get crazy. And obviously, we go through a lot, but like I say, you just pick out the ones you like and that fit your trading style, and know that that thing isn't like a 4 a.m. popper, and that you don't trade on Webull and you're not getting up at 4 a.m. And that's what I try to make sure too, that the ones that we're talking about, sometimes I try to point that out, like, hey, this one could be an early morning guy, or if it runs up that night before, I try to tell you guys. I even post like, hey, remember that 4 a.m. If you're not on there, that's where the rest of the momentum might be, and by the time you get up at 7, it could be below where it topped out the day before. We see that happen very often now with the 4 a.m. trading. I mean, it almost happens every single day with almost all of them. So you have to be aware of that as well. But so, and again, it's some of the penny ones that do it and other ones. But yeah, we try to just go through the market and pick out the best ones that have all the opportunity. This ALLR was running up there, and I think it's still stair stepping up. It wasn't really down much today. And you can see it had good run up, and it does. It looks like it's just been kind of stair stepping its way up. And obviously, look at that setup. I would actually look at ALLR tomorrow, as a matter of fact, right there with that kind of setup happening. And if not tomorrow, let it pull back maybe. And next week, it'll probably be a beauty. So I would keep an eye on that one for sure. What's that? Cine, what was the problem there? Let me see. With it pulling back or going up big time? That one's popping up there. Look at that. So yeah, there you go. Weren't we just looking at this guy? CNEY. There you go. 12 to 19 right there at 18. Yeah, I mean, things like that. Yeah, it should continue to go up there in the morning. But again, you gotta be careful. Like, this is one of them ones, deep soul diving, that it does look pretty good to jump up in the morning. But again, you got to be careful with that 4 a.m. It just makes a big difference nowadays. And something like this is one of them ones where you got to be careful with it with. So, yeah, thank you for pointing that out. It doesn't show it jumped up completely on there, obviously, because the candle's not up, but it tells you over there. But if you hadn't said something, I would have never known. But yeah, that one jumped up right there, and a perfect example. It probably will keep that momentum in the morning, but again, could it die down by 7? It really can. It's just the most bizarre thing. The market now with that whole 4 a.m. Running, and yeah, an after hour popper, they do it. They pop in the after hours and then they run at like 4 a.m. and then they start coming back down. It's weird, guys. Lately, we've been getting lucky and they kind of go back up. That wasn't the case there for a long time. And yeah, that 4 a.m. trading does do a lot of craziness there. So here we go, and that was CNEY. And again, guys, there's a good one to possibly look at in the morning as well, because it does look like it might have some good momentum going there. And I was just making sure I just hit the mic pretty good. I was making this thing likes to not work sometimes when I hit it or move it. So I was just making sure. Anyway, let's cruise back to our list right here. And we were looking at ALLR. And like I said, I would be keeping an eye on that for either tomorrow or next week. And this Wang and Lee guy, the Wang and Lee group, just down here kind of hanging out. I've been keeping an eye on it. Look at it. I don't know if it's waiting for the 20. It's not that far up. And obviously it's been coming down each day for it. So it's right there, guys. Maybe it's just waiting for next week. Sometimes they do that. Look what LGMK did last week. You guys probably don't even remember. It fell asleep. Does anyone even remember it did that last week? Because it definitely did. Remember this thing? Just took a nap right here, April 23rd, in these days, and then all of a sudden it went nuts. So people don't. I don't even think anyone remembers them days, and people were kind of worried, and I wasn't really worried about that. I just didn't know why I fell asleep, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, and then look where it went. So that's just the case right there. And KIDZ was just one of them big old curl ups, one of these big fish hooks, and this is all the way up here now. But yeah, we watched this thing. I mean, that was a perfect fish hook. We caught it right here. And like I said, as it was coming in here, at that 107 was the bottom, but 110 was the perfect spot right there. You could kind of see it. And we had said, keep your eye on it. It's going to move. And it was definitely at the, not that I have an order on the list, but I was definitely looking at it, and it was pretty up there because it was definitely on my list. That's for sure. And yeah, that was a beauty today, guys. And looking forward to seeing what it does tomorrow. And we'll check it out in the morning. That's for sure. But back to Wang and Lee and just hanging out down here. And then again, I was giving an example. Excuse me, that that they do like to just kind of chill out, and then all of a sudden they get crazy. And I do say all that often, they all suck until they really pop big, and then they're all fun. And then that's where the fun comes in. Can you trade them right? Because they go up so fast and come back down, and that's all the craziness right there. But can you lock in your profits and be smart about it? And again, don't beat yourself up if you sell these things, and including KIDZ, because I know some people did sell it as it. I mean, in the very beginning of the morning, guys, it really didn't look great at like 10 o'clock, 10:15, and then all of a sudden it got momentum. So if you were a little skeptical and you sold it off, you were still over 100%. Don't get me wrong. Obviously now it's way up there, and it is what it is. It happens sometimes, guys. Believe me. Don't beat yourself up because you still hit 100%, or and obviously maybe it would have been a 300 or 400% or whatever the case is. But yeah, it is what it is. Like I said, and yeah, I think Barbara actually she got it at like 112 and might have sold it a little early on the pop up there. And like I told her, trust me, I've done it many of times. Believe me, it happens quite often. And it is what it is. Like I said, it just lock in those profits, guys, because they're not all KIDZs where they pop like that. And trust me, this morning it was sitting right here and it was bouncing down off of that 20. And that candle did look red, and I was watching it pretty hardcore. And then it was just like one of them things where it kind of flipped around. I was like, man, is this thing gonna move? And then you get into that 10 o'clock, 10:30 area, and it just like you're almost like nowadays, I'll just wait until lunchtime. So if it goes down, I lose it, and if it goes up, I'm better off. And then you set your stop loss if you're or you watch it real close right in that time frame to see if it's dipping down. It just seems to happen that way right now for whatever reason. And yeah, this thing was just hovering there and not pushing through for a while, and then all of a sudden it just cruised. And in the after hours, it really went nutty. So it is what it is. And again, you still hit it probably for like 90 to 100%. And any given day that you're doing that is a beautiful day. Trust me. It just so happens that this one pops up even more. And again, you can't beat yourself up. That's all part of the game. And if you don't stick to your plan, and this is what I was saying to Barbara, she does a really good job at nailing these things. Just think of how many you've stuck to your plan with, as opposed to if you hadn't and they've gone down so fast. So maybe this one jumps up, you still locked it in for probably 100%, which is a beautiful day. Anytime you're hitting 100%ers, people are like, what, you're doing what? So you can't complain. But when it jumps up in your mind, you're like, mother effer, I can't believe I did that. But again, it's just one of them things that you lock it in, you stick to your game plan, you stick to your instincts. And if you do it all the time and stick to that plan, you'll beat the market. It just so happens one or two of them will jump up like this, and it will catch you, and you'll go, God damn it. And it is what it is. And when it starts coming down, you'll be happy that you'd gotten out. So it is one of them things, and trust me, it happens to everyone. And if you don't lock in those profits, like I said, believe me, they come down so many times more often than not. They've just been kind of getting some momentum for whatever reason. How many this had? I forgot to look at the volume. 262 million. So it had a pretty good amount, I would say. So yeah, just if you still hit it for a good popper, it is what it is, and it's a beautiful popper. And don't beat yourself up. You just catch the next one too, and you just keep rolling them over. So that's what you do for that. And but yeah, it is kind of crazy when it happens to you. You're like, God damn, how did I just sell that thing when and then 10 minutes later it just goes through the roof, and you're like, I just hit the sell button and I shouldn't have. Can I get them back, please? It's like, can I get them back at my buy-in price real quick? I made a mistake. And yeah, I get it. Believe me, we've all done it. So just you gotta take it and be happy with the hit, laugh about it, and even if it goes a million. I tell you a story about FFAI or FFIE. It was at the time. Now it's FFAI, which we're about to go through next. So here you go. I'll just bring it up because here you go. I mean, this one is a little bit of pullback, like we were saying. If it comes back here, it should be fine. It did look pretty good this morning. A little bit of pullback into that channel, no big deal. But this thing last year, right around this time, I'm guessing, because it does like to run 100% in May, it ran over 8,000% in 10 days. I had called it from like 4 cents to almost $4, guys. And I sold the majority of mine at 2,000%. And I couldn't believe, I was like, man, I couldn't even believe I was holding on to it that long. The chart just kept looking good. And I'm like, I can't believe it still wants to go up, but I guess it does. I'm skeptical, but all right, I'll go because I'm in it so cheap. And I guess if it takes a huge dip, I'm going to have to eat it. It is what it is. So I kept going. And then when I hit 2,000%, it still looked good. And I was like, I just can't believe it. So I did the old like 80-20, and it went up like another 6,000%, guys. Right after that, it went up another 6,000%. I went, holy shit, that was insane. So yeah, I tell the story often about it, and it was a massive hit. I mean, you don't see that every day. And we could go back, but I think this thing did reverse split since then, so it won't really reflect it. But yeah, it was ridiculous. Probably one of the biggest hits that you could ever imagine in that kind of time frame. And yeah, it was just crazy. And especially like a penny stock going into like almost a $4 range is pretty wild in that short of time. So yeah, it does happen. And again, I mean, you can't beat yourself up. Did I wish I had the whole position at 8,000%? Hell yeah, I do. But I mean, I had to go with my instincts and what I was thinking. And I was like, man, I just can't imagine it's hitting 2,000% like this. And this thing's going to keep ripping. Like, this is crazy. And it certainly showed me a new, it was like, hey, we're going to keep ripping. And it did. It went nuts, guys. So, again, I laugh about it. See, I make a joke about it, and it is what it is. I tell you how it works, and that's what it happens to everybody. So, I mean, again, you probably still hit 100%er today. And if you go to your job, you ask people how many people hit 100% stock in like 3 or 4 days in your lives. I bet not many people will even raise their hand. So I would say you're doing pretty well and you're on to something good because most of the people aren't even investing. So you're hitting 100% plus stocks and doing something right. So just look at the best positive side that you can. Don't beat yourself up. But I know it's hard and you just go, God damn it. I can't believe that I just did that. And believe me, you're not the only person. People are doing it nonstop all the time, and some of the best traders do it all the time. I mean, I follow the dude Tim Skies. He talks about it. He always sells pretty early, and again, he's just in there for a quick pop. So some of them get squeezed like crazy because he starts announcing these things on his service, and they get crazy and go nuts. And yeah, he'll sell it early. I see him post about it. So it is what it is, but you got to be happy with what you're making there. So, what was that? KIDZ today? Yeah, that ran all day today. That was like running early this morning. It started popping up, and then like right around like lunchtime, it really started to move. And then in the after hours, it went berserk. So yeah, we had it at 110, and it's at like $8. It went over $8 today, in the after hours. So that went nutty. So anyway, let's get back to our list and we'll find the next one. But I was just saying, don't beat yourself up. I know it's hard to sit hard better. It's harder to not do it, but it's like one of them things where you just can't because you just got to keep your mind focused and say, all right, I'll catch the next one. And I'll stick to my plan just like I've been doing because it works out. So that's what you have to do. And you just stop and yell shit, and then you yell, "Damn, you must have yelled on FF." I'm telling you, when FFIE was going nuts like that, I couldn't believe it. I was just sitting there like, I just sold like a bunch of. I should have just like scouted out a little less, but I was just blown away at 2,000%. I'm like, how's this thing just gonna keep going like this? And showed me real quick that it just went up another 6,000%. We're not like talking 600. You're talking 6,000% more. I mean, it was insane. It was like shit you had never seen before. And yeah, it was wild, guys. I don't know who else was calling it back there. I remember StockTwits. I was all posting about it because it was something crazy. And it was 10 days. It literally ran 10 days. It was probably one of the most craziest calls. I mean, we've had that one. What was that? Was it not TNR? It was something, I forget what it was, that ran from like $4 to 125 that one morning in the pre-market. But them things are like a little bit different because they're like, not everybody can get involved. I mean, this thing was like during trading hours, 10 straight days, boom, just went nuts. And you can look at it. Like I said, it's split since then, but you can just look and see back. And I'd posted obviously a bunch about it. But yeah, TNON. Thank you, Barbara. There you go. How great. TNON ran literally from $4 one morning to 125. I mean, massive run. Laptop Travel, a few people crushed that thing. And it was a beauty, trust me. But again, it was at 4 a.m. on Webull. You had to have like one of them trading platforms at 4 a.m. And I remember I had it. We had it. We knew it was going to run. I think me, laptop, a couple people, Peninsula Life. There was a few other people that were in it really early. Someone made like 6 figures that morning. I remember that. Who was it? Laptop Travel. Laptop Travel, I think, made like 6 figures that day. It was insane. And I know for a fact because a couple of the people sent me over their screenshots of how much they had made. And again, we were talking about this thing. I had bought it in my E-Trade account And in that morning, that the most you could get it at, it went up to $15. It was 125 for them. I remember Laptop Travel was texting me at 4 o'clock in the morning, dude, this thing's at $100. And I woke up and I was like, holy shit. And yeah, and then E-Trade and them, you couldn't do anything until 7 a.m. and then it opened up at $15. So that's the way it was. And TNON has been rumbling at the bottom the last week. Well, let's look at it because we haven't looked at that one in a long time. And then we'll get back to the list and cruise through and wrap it up. But anyway, just kind of talking about, oh, yeah, dude, you're right. TNON, look at this thing. Just happened to start talking about it out of nowhere. And it is kind of setting up right there. Deep Soul Diving. I like that. Look at that. Just so happens, I love when that happens, when you just start talking about one or you click on the wrong one and it's a beautiful setup. You're like, whoa, this is nice. Yeah, we might add that right back to the list, TNON. And again, this one had run, like I said, and I don't remember when it was. It was back here, and this one could have split by then. It did probably reverse split since, but was that it? I don't remember, guys. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You guys remember it. Like I said, people were trading it like crazy, and it was wild, but it was at 4 a.m. right there. And so yeah, that's it. You know, that's a different case right there than like the whole FFIE when it's running 10 straight days like that in regular market hours, and it's going from like 4 cents to $4, and you're just seeing it jump like that. That's insane. You don't see things like that happen very often, I'll say. So crazy things in the market that we definitely catch, and that's why we do this live show now and have a good time with it. And like I said, there was people pulling in six figures that morning. I wasn't even trading the thing. We knew it was popping. It was just a matter if you had Webull or not, I remember. And because we knew in the morning that thing was running, we didn't know what it was going to look like after. I remember I grabbed a few shares. It wasn't a big position, but yeah, and I think it went from what was it, like 7 or 8 to 15, but yeah, or 4. Yeah, it was 4 to 15. You're right. It was 4 to 15 is what it was, and you guys had it 4 to 125. That's what it was, $4, not 7. So yeah. Anyway, good old times back there, and that was TNON. This guy right there. Now we'll hop back. We just looked at that FFAI and it was pulling back a little bit. And now we'll look at LRHC. I think I had it up and I was just kind of staring at it. And it's kind of just pulling back a little bit now. So we'll have to see. It looked like it was going to try to roll off that MACD a little better, but it got caught up on the 20 and couldn't get down, crossed it right there, and actually kind of crossed up. So yeah, we'll have to kind of catch it back on the next one, see if it can roll back up a little higher. And that is LRHC. We've been watching that, and Onco right here. And that one here, show you a good example of this. LRHC the other day, and now this does show the pre-market, doesn't it? It's not showing it here. I'll go on here. It's easier. Look right here, guys. This ran 26 to 48, and that was early in the morning. That was way before 7 a.m. And by the time this thing hit 7 a.m. for the normal platforms, it was down to probably in this area like 26 cents. So yeah, you're talking like craziness is going on at 4 o'clock in the morning. And it doesn't even last that long. It's probably for like a half hour sometimes. So yeah, if you get up at 4 a.m. and you have Webull, and I don't know what other platforms. Does anyone even know what other platforms trade? I just know it's Webull is the only one I'm familiar with. I do know there's another one. I just can't ever think of the name. And it's pretty popular, but I just don't remember what the hell it is. And but it's not like an E-Trade or anything like that. And I don't know when they're going to get on board for 4 a.m. trading and try to do that. So anyway, let's get back to our list and see what's going on here. That was that LRHC. We'll keep an eye on it. And good old Onco right here. Let's see, because this one was trying to curl up, and this does look really good. This could be a popper tomorrow or next week. And this was on the list the other day getting set up, guys. So here you go. You might want to keep an eye on this guy for tomorrow, ONCO. And I know that one was getting set up. We added it the other day and we said it looked pretty good, and it does look pretty good. So if it doesn't get popping really nice tomorrow, you might still have an opportunity to jump in it. We'll watch it, but we'll see what that's up to in the morning. And this DGLY was jumped up there and then pulled back. And I think this one might have an opportunity for next week as well. Not so sure it's going to pop up here tomorrow, but it could get set up again for next week. So we will keep an eye on that. Moomoo, is that it? Is that the IBKR is the trading platform? That's it. You're absolutely right. That is it. And I forget what it stands for, but IBKR platform trading. That's what I was trying to think. What the heck is it even called? Interactive Brokers, isn't that it right there? I'm pretty sure that's it. IBKR, yeah, Interact. I couldn't think of the name, but yeah, that's it right there. Interactive Brokers. I can never remember it, but yeah, that's exactly it. I didn't even realize it was called IBKR. I just think I known it as Interactive Brokers, and I couldn't think of that name. That's why when you wrote that, but thank you very much there, Deep Soul Diving. So if you guys are interested, that is another one right there, I believe, is at the 4 a.m. Deep Soul Diving saying, and I'm almost positive that, yeah, that's the one. Like I said, I can never remember the name, but it is that, and it is pretty big too, from what I understand. So there you go, right there. And as Moomoo, isn't that another one that does it? That does sound like another one that's familiar that actually trades trading, yeah, at 4 a.m. So here you might have another one right here. Look into this one as well, because Janik is saying Moomoo does do it as well at 4 a.m. So you can check that out too. I did see there is a list I looked it up before. I don't know. I won't even look into it, but there you go. That's what Moomoo looks like. It was kind of interesting with the Mets head on it. That's why I was like, what is going on? But anyway, there's Moomoo. And you can check that out as well. And yeah, I've looked at the list, and that's how I knew that Interactive Broker one was on there. And I have seen like 2 or 3 other ones. And now that you say Moomoo, it kind of like rings a bell, but I couldn't swear to it. So, but if Janik is saying it, I'll trust you. And so yeah, there you go. But yeah, just a couple. And Weeble's probably the biggest one, but that Interactive Broker IBKR is pretty big. I know that. So especially for 4 a.m. when you don't have many that do it, you're going to be pretty big, I guess, because like I said, this shit's crazy at 4 a.m. how many people. And I don't even know if it's that many people or why it's so volatile. I just don't even get it. It's pretty wild, but it is crazy, guys. So anyway, back to our list, and DGLY we'll try to get set back up there, and we'll keep an eye on it. Barb gets up at 3:45 every morning. Wow, that's pretty wild. So yeah, that's crazy, Barb. That's early in the morning right there, I must say. And so yeah, I would say that you get up to go off to work at 3:45 every morning. So Barbara is up early. I would say that for sure. Definitely. So yeah. There you go. So Barbara's killing it. She's getting up super early, trading like crazy. She's hustling over here. So, and that's what you have to do, guys. You gotta hustle and get it in. And that's why I talk about that stuff too. You live that low means of life, and you stack your money away so you don't have to kill yourself forever. But you do kill yourself, and you make it work. And why you can. So yeah, Sam's up at 2:45 in Nebraska. So, and he gets to work at 6 a.m. So yeah, I love it. He turns on the live show. There you go. Appreciate it. I love it. You guys all listen to the live show in the morning. It helps you guys out going to work and stuff. That's awesome. So I greatly appreciate everybody tuning in. And I love all the feedback and messages and everything. So feel free to hit me up, and we'll just cruise right through our list and get done. And you guys can have the night. Here we go. Holo right here was pulling back today. I know I saw that. We were watching it to pull back to see how far. So it was no surprise, but we're keeping it on the list just to see when it's ready. And this TMDE, this one was pulling back a little. It looks like it went up in the after hours. Didn't notice that. But another one I think is going to be a pretty decent one to keep an eye on. So definitely watching that one. And this DNN is that uranium one. It's getting set up, guys. I can tell you that. It has earnings coming up Next, well, no, in 2 weeks there. So it'll probably pop up before its earnings. It looks like for DNN, you can see that getting set up. So keep an eye on that bad boy right there. For DNN, we'll watch that and that TMDE and see what that's up to as well. And yeah, Barbara said she wishes it was only 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. 4 a.m. is nuts. You're not kidding. It's so crazy. If you don't keep up with it, you'll lose profit or even end up in the red. Yeah, Barb, you're absolutely right. So that's why she's up so early to look at that 4 a.m. because she's jumping into some of these, knowing damn well that at 4 a.m. you got to be in them because I'm telling you, you'll maximize them out at 4 a.m. But also at the same time, they'll come back down so much that they'll be lower than your buy-in price. And you're like, what the hell just happened? Like, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. It's bizarre. Can't explain it. I just know it happens, so I tell you guys about it. I don't even get up and trade it. I tried it a couple times. I was like, man, this is way too early for me. But yeah, it was just a little crazy, I must say. And but yeah, if you guys are up early or anything, oh wow, Deep Soul Diving's he's Pacific time at 1 a.m. It messes up your head. Yeah, totally. I'm telling you, the market, it's almost like a 24-hour thing now. And if you are jumping in certain ones, you have to be aware of that 4 a.m. Trading because it screws up everything. It's so bizarre. And so that's why I try to, you can almost tell some of the penny ones, are going to get done. Even some of the mid ones will get messed up. So you got to be careful with them. And then again, if they're running up one day and even into the after hours, you got to be careful because you can almost bet yourself the next morning they're gonna maximize out at 4 a.m. and start pulling back by that 7. So it's just the way the market works. It's bizarre. There's no explanation. I have no idea. I really think that me and Laptop Travel have talked about it. I think he nailed it. It's a lot of people trading internationally, I believe, and they just use the VPNs and stuff in the US. So they're just using like US addresses and all that kind of stuff. And doing it like that. So, and IP addresses and things like that, because I just don't see how that many people in the U.S. and like you guys said, like Pacific time, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. Nebraska, you're at 2:45 ish, and yeah, the East Coast, you're at 4 a.m. and it's just bizarre. And you got things moving like that. I think most of the country's sleeping at that time and not really trading like it's noon. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So just keep it in mind, and that's why I talk about it all the time, because it just does it throws the market off completely. And I really do. I think it's internationally done, and it's definitely the UK crowd. Deep Souls Diving saying, yeah, I believe so too. I don't know if it's just UK. I think it could be Asia. I think it could be all of them international countries. Their time zones right there, guys. They would be going to bed. Like, it's perfect for them. So yeah, it's the most perfect thing. Like, they just had their night, and then all of a sudden it's like the end of the night. Here, we can trade, make some money, and then go to bed. It's like a beautiful thing. So I could see it happening, and but yeah, it messes up the market completely. And that's why, like I said, you'd think that like E-Trade and these bigger platforms would get on board with it, because clearly the market wants it, and it's happening. So I mean, it's kind of screwing retail traders, because if you don't have access to that 4 a.m., if you're not trading Webull or these other ones that IBKR, you'll get screwed. And like Barbara said, you'll end up losing out on a trade or two. And it does happen, trust me. I've seen it. I've gotten burned on ones because I don't use them counts, and then I use E-Trade and thinking that it could stay up, and then obviously it pops up early in the morning, and by 7 a.m. it's coming down. You're like, damn it, I should have sold that. And so yeah, it happens, believe me, guys, and you try not to make that mistake. And that's why I say sometimes you just got to lock them in with these kind of conditions and market going crazy and weird. You don't, nobody knows. So it's sometimes a coin flip right here, especially with things that are already running. And let's get cruising, because Viking was pulling back just a hair. Doesn't look bad though. Look at it getting set up. So you might see it come back to the 50 right there. But you can clearly see it getting set up, and it was running up. So we'll keep an eye on it. And Hims was running up, and this thing looks like it's about to take off, guys. So you might want to keep an eye on good old Hims, and we'll just call it a sex toy company, even though it's not. But that's a good joke because I really thought it was. And there's your Pac-Man look, and every time it gets that look what happens. I'm telling you guys, it gets crazy when this curls up big and that comes down. It has like that Pac-Man look, and the things always fly up. So I don't know why. It's kind of just like a newer pattern that I just kind of picked up. So I think it could be something just going on now, but it's a beauty to pick up on because they all do it right now. So whenever I see Pac-Man, you can kind of figure it's going to run. So keep an eye on good old HIMS Hims. And here's our Weeble. And I'm just waiting for this thing to bottom out. I've seen a couple people post about it and say it was the bottom. And every time I see people post it, I keep checking it out, going, I don't think it's bottomed yet. Not with that 20 coming down like this. It's still got to come down like that and push it down some more. And guys, even if it curls up and runs, we know it'll catch that quick pop up, but I don't think it's exactly ready yet. So I'll be watching it tomorrow just to get a better idea. But that it's gonna have to jump up like two levels there to get better. I just don't think it's ready yet. And I'll keep an eye on it because I think it'll be a great opportunity once it's done running down here and it wants to go back up. We have plenty of room since it ran way up in the $80 range. And so yeah, that one at what $13. Like I said, there's probably people stuck in this thing in like the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, the 30s, and everywhere's going down. So we'll wait for it to get to the bottom where it should be, and it could very well be right there in the $12 range. So we might be real close, but let's wait for it and see where it wants to bottom out, and then we'll catch it on the way up. So there you go. And yeah, Robinhood, you can't trade until 6 a.m. So that would be more or less probably your 7 a.m. Eastern time because that's CST. But yeah, Robinhood, you can't do it. Like I said, it's just Webull and then that IBKR, that one right there, and Mumu, I'm pretty sure too, like Janica said. So yeah, it's only a select few, and there might be like one or two other ones. Like I said, I have Googled it just to see which ones did it. And there was only like 4 or 5, I think. I forget. There wasn't that many that trade at 4 a.m. I don't know what the hell you got to get to do it. We both obviously pulled it off, and these other ones. So I don't know what the heck you need to do it, but yeah, it's a totally different market. That's why I pushed FinViz, honestly, to get the charts to go from 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. because you couldn't see what the hell was going on. And you really didn't have a clue. I mean, you go back and look at the shows. I don't have to tell you, you guys know, but you literally had to use the TrendSpider because this one does it overnight and it's all time. And literally, they just used to run from 7 a.m. to like 4 o'clock, and like 4 o'clock, and then they would do a little bit of the after hours, and it would just show you the price like it still does up here. It would do that, but it never really did the pre-market at 4 a.m. It would start at like 7 a.m. You guys knew that because I would change the heat map over when I would hop on at 7 a.m. That's when this would kind of start, and it still wouldn't show the candles. It would just say it was moving. So now they got the pre-market candles working right and everything's good. And like I said, they're going to get the after hours. But yeah, I was the one that got them to do that. So you guys know that happened. But anyway, it's nice that they did it. I'm not going to lie. They are awesome over there. I have to say, I've talked to them quite a few times. They did show me the futures and Forex and how to get that all fixed and all. So yeah, no, they're awesome, I have to say. And yeah, they probably thought the same thing. All right, yeah, the market's changed a lot since this thing's been around the whole time I think I've been trading. I'm pretty sure I've always looked at FinViz. So yeah, things have changed, and they're like, yeah, I guess he's right. Let's change this damn thing and make it at 4 a.m. So yeah, they do have a big thing. I X'd out of it on here. I still see it on my phone though. They have a big message up here that it runs from 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. now. So it does. It makes a huge difference. So yeah, they'll get the after hours right. They said in like the next 2-3 weeks. So they know that's still not right, but they're working on it and they'll get it right. But yeah, that's why I push for it, because it's an entirely different market. And obviously, it's going to help everybody out. It's not just helping me, it's helping everybody. So I'm sure they appreciate it, obviously. But it obviously was taken out. It's not easy to do, clearly, because they are still working on it. But it's something that made the site and I think their platform way better. And now that we actually know how to do the Forex and stuff like this too, I mean, that makes a huge difference. I'm telling you, I'm going to start really looking at the Forex. I still had two of them on there. I'll make one disappear. But yeah, look at this. I mean, we can literally look at all these now and see what these things are doing with no problem. These are all coming down. That's pretty easy. And Forex apparently is like some crazy stuff to trade. And so yeah, a lot of people get into Forex after they like really master options. Forex seems to be like the one where you really make crazy amounts of money. I don't know why, but it is. And I'm saying, I've always said, just give me RSI and MACD and we should be pretty good to roll. And here we have them. So let me just delete one of them because it's driving me nuts. Can't look at two MACDs. And so yeah, there you go. But yeah, there you go. So they showed me how to do that too, which is awesome. So we'll take advantage of that, and we got it on the crypto and everything else as well. I just got to hop over, which isn't a big deal. I just didn't even know that you had to do that. But yeah, look at Bitcoin jumping into the top right here, and this is beautiful. I mean, it's great to have that. So anyway, good stuff right there. Let's cruise and go through the rest of this list. I don't even know where I'm at. Oh, Web Bull and AREB. This was pulling back. Oh, it did jump up in the after hour. Somebody's gonna be mad. I was looking at it. Someone asked me, I think maybe it was Doge Mama 9. I forget who it was. I'm sorry. It was a Barbara. Somebody asked me, and I was like, oh, that one, it was hard to tell at the end of the day. And it did jump up in the after hours there. Let's see. I got to see this thing. AREB. And yeah, it is trying to curl up a little better right there. It was running a little bit flat. It looked like it could have pulled back a little bit. It was hard to tell. And but it is running up. We'll look at it tomorrow. I know it's been on our list and we've been watching it to try to curl up at this spot. You just couldn't see if it was going to pull back a little bit more today. And obviously, we'll have to keep an eye on that tomorrow morning to see if it really wants to run. Because again, it's got to be in a good spot again, and it could run right back up to that 20 and get cruising. And this thing went nutty the other day. So we will keep an eye on the AREB right there. Oh, Barbara grabbed it at 304. Perfect. Look at that, Barbara. I'm telling you, she's on point with things. And I know for a fact because we talk. And she asked me if I look at, obviously, I look at them all if anyone asks, but she'll ask me and I'll definitely post back to her and she'll be like, yeah, I'm looking at it right here. Maybe it'll pull back. So she knows what she's looking at and she'll ask me to look at them. And you guys know I'll take a look at any of them. I enjoy looking at the charts. I have a good time with it. So feel free. And yeah, if you're ever confused and you're like, I really can't tell what the heck this thing's trying to do, and then I'll tell you, honestly, it's a coin flip right now. You know, I'm honest about it, and if I can see if it's going to run or pull back, I'll tell you. And I'll tell you what it looks like to me. They can change pretty fast. We all know that. Look what they do in the after hours and stuff, but you'll have a really good idea of what it's trying to do. And even if they do pull back or jump up or pull back, chances are they'll jump back up because they're setting up. If they look like they were setting up, sometimes you just get that quick dip, and it was a great opportunity. So yeah, go ahead, ask any. That's why we do the show and go through so many guys. And this green lane, it did go back up after over a penny in the after hours, but look at that, guys. Under a penny, just like we were talking about. So, and I'm not so sure that it's going to curl through. We'll look at it. I mean, it's way down here and it's in the basement. I could see it curling through, but I'm not promising you. It doesn't have to. It could level down. We know that. We've seen it happen with these other ones where they base out here trying to curl through, and then all of a sudden they level down a little bit. And then the next thing you know, you're really under a penny. So we'll be keeping an eye on it tomorrow to get a better idea. We'll look at it first thing in the morning. Obviously, if it's trying to curl through here really good, you have a good idea that it'll probably try to run for green lane. But that's what we're looking at. And that's why last night I was saying that I didn't think I thought we could get it under a penny, and maybe some people did scoop it up under a penny. That would be perfect because it just ran up back up for you. So that's a nice swing, and we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. But I wasn't convinced yesterday that it was ready to move today. And I did think we were getting it under a penny right there. And we'll still see if we get it a little lower. And this NVNI, that was running up, what, yesterday or this morning it was? It was this morning, right? This thing was cruising along because we had looked at it yesterday and we talked about it being a momentum play right there. So it ran up 49 to 76, and now it's at 37. And yesterday it closed at 49. So this is kind of what we're talking about right here. I know it was running up in the pre-market. At least I remember it was up, I think. So yeah, I don't remember if it ran up early and pulled back that early, or if it ran up and then pulled back at some point in the day. I really don't remember. But that is kind of what we're talking about. It happens all the time. It almost looks like a little healthy pullback as it ran up there. You can see it didn't really pull back too hard. So 271 million in volume, and one to probably just keep an eye on. I'll watch this again tomorrow and see if it's just a little healthy pullback going in for next week right there. And this one's setting up to be really good, guys. TRNR, I remember we looked at it way before and it was coming down, so we kind of took our eye. Look at these things trying to curl up. So maybe that GNL, we'll be watching them tomorrow. I'll tell you that. I'll have an eye on some of these, especially because just what I'm telling, what the heck just happened? Because these things look like two different charts right there. But anyway, I'm not gonna. Oh yeah, I don't even know what the heck it's doing. I'd have to look at it. Yeah, they weren't like this earlier. I know that they didn't look all crazy like that. But anyway, I'm just gonna look at it like this. I'm telling you, this thing was getting to be set up. I have to look at this on another chart real quick because it's just bizarre. They were kind of lined up together earlier. I remember looking at this because I was, that's really weird. Got me confused. Anyway, I'll come back. I will definitely take a look at this when we're done and see what TRNR is up to, because I know I was looking at it earlier and it wasn't even looking bad, and now it's looking kind of crazy. I have no idea, but I will take a better look at that. And PRSO, didn't this run up today at some point? Yeah, this was up early this morning too and then came back down. So here you go is another example of them running up and then coming back down. So yeah, it was running up yesterday. We were talking about it, and there you go, 112 to 125. It's in the 80s right now, and yesterday it closed at 110. So this is exactly what I've been talking about. Now, is it a little healthy pullback? It very well could pull back and get set up, as you can see. But again, they run up like this and then they're down. So you have to be on them, because if not, you could have bought this yesterday as a momentum play. It was a great momentum play. But if you didn't sell it, then you got screwed. So just kind of what Barbara was saying and we've been talking about. So it's what you have to look for. And again, look how it got bounced off that top line right there. And how I tell you, make sure it's getting into the top right here. And especially if you're getting into it and it's like right around here and it's hitting that top, yeah, it did spike up, but it still never got into the top right there. So you got to be careful. And if you don't see getting in there, I usually stay away, just because, it doesn't really have that momentum. Yeah, it could spike up like this, but probably coming down pretty fast. So just something to keep an eye on. And yeah, just little chart tips right there. And that's PRSO. But yeah, it did run up. And again, you got to be quick. I was looking at this one. It did pull back today, and it did have that earnings yesterday. And let's see what it's going to do tomorrow, because I'm telling you, this thing looks like it's trying to get set up right here. And with the earnings, what the heck am I doing? It ran up the other day, and it does, guys. I'm telling you, this thing looks like it wants to get rolled off and set up. Maybe this is one to get set up for next week, IVF, but I'm going to be watching that one as well. Let me put a line to there. And KWE, we looked at this the other day. I remember running up and then pulling way back there. Oh, yeah, I had the reverse split and ran up. That's right. And then it pulled back, and now it's starting to roll back up again. So KWE is looking pretty good. K West Microsystems. And again, make sure it gets into that 20. And look how that's curling down. If that curls up, you're going to have that Pac-Man look. and you will get that pop because we already know Pac-Man equals a pop right now. That's for sure. So just keep an eye on that. And how about our lion right here? Wasn't looking bad today. Ran up some, curling up, looking pretty good for the lion to run up. And obviously, we always look at the line. It looks like it did run up at some point, 291 to 395. When the hell did it do that? That says 325. I don't even know. Maybe it ran. I have no idea. But anyway, the line was looking pretty good. I know that, but it looks like it might have pulled back big in the after hours. We'll have to look at the line in the morning and see what it's up to. It looks like it did pull back there. So I'll look at that. And how about JAGX? That had been running up there. Remember, we were looking at it and said it looked good. We forgot to keep looking at it, but it was running up. I remember seeing it, and it did go like 8 to 15 the other day. And look at it, making a base, and it looks like it's in the top. You might even look at this tomorrow as a little bounce up in the top right here for JAGX. Look at this thing trying to get set up in that top even better. So, yeah, you might want to keep an eye on JAGX right here. It could try to run up a little bit for us. So there you go for good old JAGX. And let's see what the lion and the cheetah. Trying to remember what the heck we look at. And here we go to Cheetah just pulling back a little bit, but this is getting set up as well. So the big cat's not looking too bad right there. Look at that Cheetah right there, not look bad. And Red Cat looks like it's probably going to bounce down, so nothing real crazy. But there you go for the big cats and WXM. That looks like a new one right there. Not sure what this is. WXM. WF International. That's a new one that just started in the basement. So I'll have to look at it when it's moving tomorrow and try to get a better idea. And I don't know what DLZ is because I'm trying to do ELAB. So I have no idea what I even typed in. But anyway, here's ELAB. And ELAB does look pretty good, I must say. I haven't looked at this in a little while. But that is curling up, looking pretty good. I might have to keep an eye on ELAB. Thank you very much. Whoever put that one in, because I haven't seen that, and it is looking pretty good down there. And VMAR, that Vision Marine, I remember this ran up pretty good after the split, and that looks really good, guys. Vision Marine might have some vision in its future right here tomorrow. Keep an eye on that. Wow, I'm definitely going to be looking at Vision Marine, VMAR. I like that one tomorrow, guys. So keep an eye on Vision Marine. Look at that getting set up for next week and even possibly popping up a little tomorrow right there. And FMTO right here. This one I remember ran up. Was it that day? Or no, we were looking at this thing to try to run. Didn't it reverse split or something? I don't remember. It took a big dip. I don't really remember, but holy shit, it's looking really good right there, I must say. I just remember we were looking at it for some time. Yeah, it did reverse split. That's right. We were looking at it right around the reverse split. It was never running yet, and I kind of just took it off the list. And now's a good time to put it back on the list, guys, because holy cow, look at that thing right there in the right spot. Definitely keeping an eye on FMTO right there. Thanks, whoever sent that back in, because I took my eye off of that. And how about Starbox? We haven't looked at this one in a while either, and it's been in the basement. And oh man, someone sent in some really good past ones. I have to go back and see who sent these in. I forget who it was, but really good, solid ones right there. All ones that we had been looking at before, and all getting set up really good. And that Starbox was taken for frickin' ever, remember? And we were saying, I think we were even saying it could have been that new ALLR, but when we just stopped looking at it. But there you go. It's trying to get out of that basement now and looking pretty good for Starbox. So keep an eye on that one, STBX. Really good ones right there. And this GWAV is that Greenways. It's a trash one, Waste Management. And let's see, that one's trying to cruise up, and a bunch of oldies looking like goodies now. So look at that thing trying to curl up. We'll keep an eye on the green wave right there and see if it wants to get green and going. And BTOG, this is another one we just recently had on the list. And that thing is getting to be in a really good spot too. Bit Origin. And didn't this have something to do with some crypto or something? But look at that, 15 to 25 today at 17. So there you go, a Bit Origin. This one was just on our list the other day, BTOG, and there you go with that. And that's getting set up to be really good right there. So Another great one. And how about SLDB right here? Solid bioscience. That looks pretty solid, I must say. Up 34 cents today and curling up. That does look pretty solid. Look at that Pac-Man look, guy. What do you think's going to happen there with Pac-Man? SLDB. You might want to keep an eye on that one, too. These are some good ones someone sent in because this is definitely ones that people sent in right here. Not exactly sure who, but some really good ones. I looked at that HKPD already, and that was moving up a little bit and not looking bad. We had been looking at this one. HKPD, there we go. And yeah, that one's trying to cruise up. And remember, we said this one could get moving. And we also looked at CNEY, right? Yeah, we did look at this one, and that thing's looking pretty good. Didn't it jump up in the after hours? Weren't we looking at it? Yeah, there you go. I thought so. And 12 to 19, it's at 18. And again, we were actually talking about this being one of them ones that you got to watch out for tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. So keep an eye on it. Could maximize up, but be coming down. And that's exactly what you got to be looking out for right there. And on all of them. But yeah, that's where that 4 a.m. comes into play. And how about FBGL? This one is one of them new ones, but now you're starting to actually get a chart forming so we can kind of see. You remember, we watched this in February when it started out, and now you actually have a couple months. See how fast these months go by? I mean, it's crazy, guys, because we literally looked at this the first day, and now you got a complete chart starting to happen there. It's amazing, and it's actually not looking bad, though. Let's see. Trying to curl through right there, looking much better, FBGL. And yeah, I would say this is one to keep an eye on right here. And again, we've been watching it for a little while and does look pretty good. So sometimes you do have to keep an eye on them. And our APDN, let's see, that one was trying to move. Remember, we were saying the other day it was making that base. And I think it is going to try to get back up over that dollar relatively soon here and then get curled up. So APDN could be one of these ones that, does what these other ones are doing. It just took a little bit of time, and that one could really get cruising right there, APDN. So, we're watching that one. And that signing day is SGN, signing day sports. Speaking of which, the hockey's on. I just have it on my iPad, and the Kings and Edmonton are playing. The game just started. Who leads it? Edmonton leads the series 3-2. So I guess if they win tonight, they will win that series. And anyway, that's your hockey playoffs real quick. And signing day sports, speaking of sports, and this one was trying to, I remember it ran up the other day really big right there from 75 to $2. And let's see if it's going to try to do that again. And it doesn't look too bad. I would look at it to try to maybe, I'd have to look at it tomorrow. It almost gives you a mixed look, like it wants to pull back. It could jump up, but it looks like it would rather pull back at the moment. And this Jeff Sprans, we always like him because it jumps up a lot. And it was jumped up yesterday. I remember we saw it. We weren't really looking at it beforehand, but there you go. This is the way they work. They jump up like that, and then you end up like, what did it close at? It closed at 140. It opened at 132, ran up to 159, and now it's at 128. So basically exactly what we've been talking about. And you could have it pull back a little bit more, and that is your Jeff Sprans right there. And ADD Color Star technology was starting to set up the other day. Let's see what it looks like here. Trying to roll back off and get some ADD. Let's see if we want to add it. That's not looking bad for a roll off right there, guys. So we might want to keep that there and add that because that could be a good one. And that wolf, I think it was pulling back a little bit, if I remember correctly. It was up today. It wasn't pulling back yesterday. Yeah, it ran up the last few days. But this wolf is not looking bad. It does have earnings coming up on the 8th, which is next week. And let's see what it's up to. WOLF, and this is one I'd given out on that small cap show, and it was a beauty because it ran right up, and it's trying to make a base. You got that Pac-Man look coming up on this thing too, guys. So maybe the wolf is going to get eaten by Pac-Man or vice versa. I'm not sure, but we'll be keeping an eye on a WOLF. And how about TerraWolf? That one's WULF, and that one's starting to move. And this is another one I gave out. And boom, guys, that one is cruising along today. So one wolf after another, and there you go. So keep an eye on WULF because that one's starting to roll up there. So some really good ones right there with Wolf and Wolf. And again, I gave them out on the small cap show down here. So both of them are way up and pretty well, actually. So, yeah, they're both up probably 30-40%. And here we go. Foxo. Oh, not Fox. Well, we'll look at Fox Corporation. I'm guessing this is Fox, like the media company, right? I'm guessing it does look like that. I don't think I've ever looked at this in my life. They have earnings. Oh, they have earnings coming up right here on May 12th. And it looks like it's pulling back a little bit to me. So I would look at it to come down a little bit. And let me see what I didn't even know if Fox was Fox right here. But yeah, it does look like it's kind of dragging down. I mean, we'll see if it tries to curl back up. If it does, it'll end up looking like Pac-Man. So it'll be a good situation for Fox. And let's go to Foxo, though, because that's what I was trying to do. And this one, like, reverse split and do something. They went to OTC, it looks like. Yeah, it did reverse split the other day. And I guess it went to an OTC. It was running around 81 to 118. And now it's back to 79. And it doesn't say that it's an OTC right there, but it didn't come up on here. That's for sure. So I'm not sure, but it is trading right there. And that is Foxo. I just remember we were looking at the reverse split the other day, and there's a couple I added right here that would grab my attention as I was running through the scanner. DRCT was up, has earnings coming up, and it does look pretty good right there. So keep an eye on that bad boy for some momentum tomorrow for DRCT. And this BLMZ grabbed my attention too. And Blooms, we've looked at this plenty of times and checked this bad boy out. So it was trying to run up today, maybe a little pullback in the after hours, nothing crazy. But get this into that channel, and you're almost going to have that Pac-Man look. So that grabbed my attention right there. And RNAZ was moving that transcode, and that thing was starting to cruise up. But not only that, it was in a good spot. So keep an eye on RNAZ. So a couple other good ones right there that grabbed my attention while I was just kind of cruising around, checking things out right here. And there you go with them bad boys. And then let's take a look at our laptop lowdowns or laptop travel list. Our laptop lowdowns will be tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. So be sure to tune in at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning to do the pre-market show, because we always go through everything and crush through market and make sure that we know exactly what's going on. But right now, let's look at our laptop travel list. And these are always just really solid ones, as you can see how they run around in the channel. He has the scanner set up perfectly. So it's just a really solid list. Here's about 10 of them that are just great. Not too many of them, but just enough where if you have any problems trying to find something, you can always go back to this list right here and be like, oh, here's some solid ones right here. Look at this thing, down 15 and then up in 10 in the after hours. I mean, you can just see they start getting into these channels right here, ACVH, and it will just run around. It's pretty amazing that they do it, but this might have a little bit of pullback, but it will get set back up, be a good opportunity. ADVM. This guy is in that channel right there, just jumped in there. So ADVM not looking bad for there. So yeah, that one probably has potential to run up. And again, they run anywhere from like 2, 5, 10%, wherever, but they do definitely move. ALDX are always solid, as you can see right here. And this one's going to get curled up right there. Probably a good potential for next week, ALDX. So keep an eye on that one. Looks pretty good right there. ARTV right here. Let's see this guy. And this one, another one getting set up, just kind of pulling back a little bit, but might be a good opportunity next week. I have a feeling that's going to come back down and roll right up there. So that's what it looks like for ARTV and ATXS right here. That's just making a base right there, and you could have a nice little curl up and a pop up, because they do like to get squeezed up right there when they do that, as you can see. So yeah, well, I'll keep an eye on ATXS, see what that wants to do right there. And let's look at AURA right there, Aurora Biosciences. Now that one looks really good to try to run up to that 50 still. And let's take a look at it right here. Yeah, I would say keep an eye on that tomorrow. And you have some good space right there. So, again, really good ones generally. AURA, keep an eye on that for some momentum. And how about Howl right here, that werewolf? I remember we looked at this plenty of times. And let's see what the werewolf wants to do. HOWL. And it's just in that channel right there. Maybe a little pullback as it sets up, but it might be howling up next week. So we'll keep an eye for that for next week. And Prime Medicine right here, PRME, just a little bit flat, but in the channel. And again, look at these things. They're just really solid ones that you can have easy trades on. So if you're stuck anywhere or you don't know where to start, just start with that list right there, and it's a great spot. And every day, I'm telling you, it gives us solid ones. Look at this thing. So look at that Pac-Man. Look for SLDB. That's solid bio. Didn't we say that looked solid last night? Remember SLDB? I know for a fact. I said that looks solid, and there you go. So that one ran up over 10% today. So just as I'm telling you guys, there's a great example right there. So we go through the list, you pick out the good ones, and they move up a little bit. They don't all have to be 100%ers. And even if you pick 100%ers, you still have to trade them smart. So you can pick them all that you want, but if you don't trade them smart, they're useless. And we know that. But anyway, good solid one. ZH looking good. A China one right there. And that thing looks like it's trying to get set up. So thank you, Laptop Travel. Perfect list right there, as always. So thank you very much. And we'll go ripping through our Jolie's jumpers real quick, and we'll see what they're up to. And then we look at our Jolie's jams. I knew I said it backwards. We'll look at our Jolie's jams real quick, and our Jolie's jumpers we look at in the morning at 7 a.m. So we always start the show off with our Jolie's jumpers. Asian Jolie provides a great list, and she's been doing it for, oh my goodness, it's been like 7 months probably that she's been providing the Jolie's jumpers list. And now we got the Jolie's jams, and these are ones that she likes. And so we go through them each night, and honestly, they're really good names. Maybe haven't been performing the best, but I have a feeling most of them are going to be getting turned around. They were just kind of pulling back, but then again, the whole market did too. So look at Agrify right here as we're saying that 15 to 17.29 and looking pretty good. It's hitting the 20, but it seems like it won't. I don't know. I'll look at it tomorrow if it crosses through. Some of them are getting crossed through right now like this, so I'll keep an eye on it. But as far as we know, we're keeping to that pattern where they're going to bounce off unless something changes. But some of them do cross through. And again, you want to make sure they're getting through and healthy before you're jumping in too early. And Blink right here does have earnings coming up in a week or two. In 2 weeks, it's on a Monday in 2 weeks. So it's kind of pulling back a little bit. It was trying to move up the other day. So yeah, you can see Blink just kind of pulling back a little bit, not ready yet. And how about Sezzle? They do have options. This was up at the top, just running flat. We'll have to see what it wants to do right there. And good old Sterling's been looking good, that Sterling infrastructure. And it's probably going to run up towards that 200 right now. So, guys, I would be keeping an eye on Sterling right here because that does look really good. And I think we were saying that not long ago. And Rivian's been looking pretty good as well. And that has been running up there. And it ran up a little bit more today. It's getting towards the top. So, again, another one you got to be careful as it's getting towards the top. Could hit the top and bounce down. So you definitely have to make sure. And as it's going like that, it's not shooting straight up. So look for it to hit the top and try to bounce down on Rivian. And how about our Symbotic? We'll look at Suncor Energy first because I couldn't type in Symbotic for some odd reason. But anyway, this has earnings coming up on the 6th. So Cinco de Mayo is on Monday, guys. So it's a big fiesta on Monday in the market, and then tons of earnings. And then obviously this is Tuesday the 6th. And it is and Taco Tuesday is the next day. How about that, guys? And SU. So we got Cinco de Mayo on Monday and Taco Tuesday, and lots of earnings coming up. And Suncor Energy is, or whatever the hell it's called. Yeah, Suncor Energy looks pretty good actually. If it could get rolling and this curls up, you're almost gonna a ton of these Pac-Man looks coming up, guys. So it does look pretty good. And what the heck was I even trying to type in? I forget. Was it Symbotic? Was I trying to put Symbiotic in? Yeah, I guess I was. Holy cow, because we just did Rivian. I forgot what I was even doing. But anyway, Symbiotic. Look at this thing, guys. Wow, that one's looking really good as well. Earnings coming up on the 7th, which obviously has to be Wednesday. And yeah, I would be looking at Symbiotic right here, SYM. Look at that thing, guys. That looks really good. So you might want to keep an eye on Symbiotic right there, SYM, looking good. And we'll get cruising through our SPY big caps, and then I'll go through, see what you guys are looking at. We were kind of jumping around a bunch tonight, all over the place and looking at things, but it was a memorable day with KIDZ. So we were just comparing things and looking at stuff. But yeah, look at that bad boy. That was a master call right there. And I'm thinking a lot of people definitely had a beautiful call on that and are locked in some beautiful profits, and it's still running up. So we had been looking at a bunch of stuff and going through things. So it took a little longer. But let me rip through our SPY, our big caps, and then we'll go through the scanner and see what you guys want to see. And we'll go ahead and wrap it up after that. And Sam, I did see you say you're trying to replicate your chart to set it up, MA 2050. And it is on the daily. No, I use the daily for everything. I don't use any hour charts, to be honest with you. So just LMK. There's your daily right there. And yup, yeah, I got my SMA 20, 50, and 200. And I'm pretty sure they just kind of put these on Finviz anyway. Obviously, if you're setting them up on anything else. But yeah, there's your SMAs right there that I use. And I never really used to use them as much, but they have been coming into play way more lately, and it started before in the Biden administration. It seemed like I used to not even put them on my charts, but yeah, they definitely started to really like be the resistance and support lines, like everything. So obviously we started using them way more. And then your RSI 14 right there, and your MACD is at 12, 26, and 9. And that's it. You got it, Sam. No problem, dude. And yeah, it's that simple. That's all I do. And you guys see, it's all I've ever used. I've never looked at news or anything like that, or ever based anything off of it but the charts. And it is pretty accurate, I must say. These charts are crazy, and probably the reason why I've done it for over 20 years. I told you it's always been a hobby, but it was always very fascinating to me that you could look at these things and they would tell you, like, and again, going back, they would tell you like events, like historical events that were taking place. And clearly you guys have seen it live right here. We did the election pretty perfectly, and clearly the first Trump assassination attempt. And I mean, you couldn't have been any more perfectly than what I'd said. I mean, it was scary, guys. It really was. I mean, days before that assassination attempt, we go through the aerospace and defense, and we had been going through it. And I straight up said, guys, something's going down. It looks like the country's going to get attacked. And I would really start to worry right now. It looks like you're in worrying territory. You can go back and listen to the clip. And it wasn't a couple days later. Yeah, I would say the country's under attack when you're trying to assassinate a president, somebody, especially when they're running for an election. So not only was he was a sitting president, not he wasn't currently, but he was running in an election. So yeah, I would say that's a pretty good attack on the country. And then you guys know for 3 months plus, I said it would be the biggest landslide, and there was nothing that said it wasn't going to be. And then the best one, the topper on the top, the best one I think was what was it, Polymarket? Is that what it's called? Whatever it's called. They had the charts. We went through it the day of the election, and I did the video. I went through all the charts, called them out perfectly, but the best one out of them all, and it was crazy because that Harris one for the what was it, to win the popular vote? I couldn't think of it. To win the popular vote, it was 75. I'll never forget this. I don't think I'll ever forget. It was 75-25 that morning. I'll never forget. I woke up, I was like, whoa. And I looked at that chart and I went, that thing's going to drop off a cliff and this thing's going to pop. Watch. And he sure won 100%. It was the complete opposite by the end of the night. And yeah, we had that on video from the beginning in the morning, and that was a beautiful call. And yeah, the entire election we just rolled through. So yeah, no, these charts, I'm telling you, they tell you everything. But we knew that the Trump was going to win the election from like 3 months out. The charts started to set up, and then I guess what was it, like 3-4 weeks before, they like literally had turned, like you just knew it was happening. So yeah, it's kind of crazy stuff, but they've told me things for years and years and years. I wasn't looking at them at when 9/11. I mean, I used to look at the charts, but when 9/11 happened, I hadn't been like zoned in on them at that time. So I wasn't looking at them when that event took place, but I do know like the puts were crazy on the airlines and stuff. So yeah, people know, honestly. It's I've said it all the time. The money moves around, and the Trump assassination attempt was clear. I pointed it out. We did a whole show about it, but you could see the money moving, and you knew what was happening. And clearly, money. It was definitely known. It was 100%. A lot of people knew about it. That wasn't an accident, let's put it that way. So, yeah, that was definitely inside and planned, and I proved it. I mean, I don't think anybody could ever argue that you can't prove these things through these charts and how the money moves. The money tells you everything every time. So, yeah. Again, we had known, and I even pointed to no. The scarier part is on that whole thing. And remember, a month or two before that all happened, the banking charts were setting up like crazy, and I kept saying, "Yo, something's going crazy with the banking system. I'm not sure what it is." And then all of a sudden, it kind of fizzled out a little bit, and uh, and then looking back, and I went back and looked at it, you could see what was going on, and I said exactly what they were going to do. They had the assassination attempt. They were going to shut the banking system down that night, and they were going to complete. They were going to create complete chaos in this country, and it was all for one thing. And I pointed it out. It was so easy. It was all for power or money, and to keep the political party, or keep the Democrats in the office. They knew if you had like basically well, Trump assassinated, but if you basically had a civil war, you're not changing any parties over. So, yeah, it was done purposely, guys. I'm telling you, we broke it down back then. I've done it after, and we caught it way before it all happened, too. So, it's not like I just picked these things out of midair. You guys know when I say, yo, something's going on, something's going on. I don't say it very often, but when I say it, it's usually happening. And so, yeah, it always fascinated me with the charts, and that's why I've done it for over 20 years. So yeah, you can definitely see things. And I was completely convinced after that Trump assassination attempt. I knew 100%. I said it on here. There was no way anybody could ever argue with me on it that it wasn't set up. But the fact that the money didn't know, I knew for a fact at that point. Ever since, ever day there, it's run by something, guys. There's definitely, and they talk about this deep state and stuff, and I don't doubt it, because again, these charts don't lie, and you can't move money around like that without knowing something major is going to happen. It just does not happen. It doesn't happen by accident. Let's not put it that way. So crazy stuff, I'll tell you that. So anyway, let's take a look at our SPY and our big caps. And again, you just call things from the charts. And that's all I've done for many years. And that's what we do on the show. And we just have fun with it. At least we try to, and make it exciting. But anyway, let's roll through our SPY because it's getting late. And I know everybody has stuff to do. And let's roll. So SPY was up today. And then it looked like it pulled back during the after hours right there. And I know Apple and Amazon had come down. So it could be pulling back, and you could have some pullback coming back tomorrow. And it is a Friday, so really, how much is it going to pull back? I'm not even sure, guys. Like you said, this thing's getting crazy, and if they curl this up, they're going to keep them in this channel. Let's just look at the rest of them and see what they look like, and we'll reevaluate. Apple right here did pull back pretty good, and we'll look at this chart and these guys. So yeah, Apple's coming back down, it looks like. So they weren't getting through to 50. Some of them I think didn't a couple of them do it yesterday. Amazon was coming back down. It never got through to 50 right there. So there you go. It's staying in that channel and pulling back a little bit. Not saying it looks terrible, but look at that thing. It's just pulling back to set up. I mean, it looks pretty good to me. with a little bit of pullback. And good. What's Gladstone? We just added that to the Mag 7. Look at that. They'd be excited. Oh, it's nothing crazy. It's they do have a lot of dividends. Look, this is one of the ones that has dividends like every 3 months, guys. Every month. Look at that shit. March 19th and April 21st, and you got them over here in February. So yeah, this is a big dividend guy right here. I don't know what they even pay. Doesn't really go too crazy, but they do pay dividends. And anyway, that is not Google. That is Gladstone. They'd be happy to be in the Mag 7. And Google right here, they are in the Mag 7. And let's see what it was doing today. I know it was up a little bit, but what it do in the after hours, it looks pretty good, actually. Look at Google looking pretty good. Last time I said that with Microsoft, look what happened to it. It went nuts. Google's looking pretty good, guys. So I'll take a look at it tomorrow. And Meta looked like it was kind of pulling back there. And don't they have their earnings coming up, or did they today or something? I forget what they were doing. I don't really remember. Weren't they yesterday? I forget. Yeah, they were yesterday. It ran up and then it came back down a little bit today. So there you go. It wasn't getting through that 50 right there. And that was Meta. And Microsoft went nutty today. We know that. And Luis Rodriguez was banking on them options today. So that was very nice, Luis Rodriguez. And it doesn't even look bad. Look at that setup right there. It is hitting that resistance. So, and it went up in the after hours. I don't know. The thing doesn't look too bad, I must say. Look and see if it gets back into the top, if it can get into the top right there. It does look good in the after hours. I have to say that 426, it got up to 436 right there. I'll look at it in the morning. I mean, it's got a really good jump and it's hitting up there. We'll see if it can poke its head into that top area for Microsoft. And how about NVIDIA? That one I was pulling back a little bit, curled up right there. And let's see NVDA. And that one's hitting the 50 and pulling back. But yeah, I think that one's got a pretty tight channel coming in and it's going to get set up. So that's NVIDIA. And good old Tesla was down just a hair, but I think Tesla is getting set up, guys. Like I said, could see a little bit of pullback, but look at this bad boy. So watch for it in the 260s. If it can get down there, it's at 277. And then Tesla, I think, is going to be a cruiser. Something's going on with Tesla. You can see that bad boy getting ready. So just wait for it right there. And that's TSLA, obviously. And AMC was down 2 cents. And look at this thing getting to be in a good spot, guys. We're going to definitely have to keep an eye on this AMC. I don't know what they have going on, but they definitely have something going on. When was that earnings coming up anyway? May 7th. So that is on Wednesday. So they do have earnings Wednesday. We'll have to see what's going on because that is setting up in a good spot. And all these Roaring Kitty crew guys were pretty good. GameStop, not bad this week. It made a nice little support line right there. Has a little resistance over. Not too bad to roll off that MACD, I must say. So we're keeping an eye on that. You can see it wants to roll right off of there when it gets set up, probably next week. And good old Chewy was looking good. It was down today, just a little pullback after it ran up. And Unity was running back a little bit right there. So they had run up most of the week and now they're pulling back a little bit. And this is what we talk about. Our pattern goes up and then rolls back down right there to the MACD. It happens all the time with everything. So that's all we're looking at. It's not rocket science, I don't think, but Netflix is, because it just keeps rocketing up here and it just keeps going up in the top. Look at it, just kind of flat. Again, I'm not sure I would play with it up there because it has that crazy look like it could go any which way. And it's all the way in the top, but we had it under like in the 9s and said it was going over 1,000, then 11. So I'd say it moved where we wanted it to move. And AVGO, they were up today. They were looking good, but I'm saying they might be pulling back a hair to get set up for next week is what it looks like. I mean, look at that thing, and it does. It looks like it wants to pull back to get set up. So that's what they look like to me. Same with MU and pretty much all these guys. TSM running up right there. That one could run up a little bit higher, actually. And we were saying it looked pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. It could pull back right there. They do want to get set up, so I must say they're not looking bad. SMCI, that had that big dip, and they do have earnings coming out next week. Not expecting anything pretty, but they have a great support line, so not sure what's going on with that. Maybe it don't even get crushed down. And good old AMD down here. down 70 cents, hitting that. Oh, excuse me, hitting that resistance. Hope I don't get the hiccups. And hitting that resistance right there. And I think it will be coming back. They have earnings coming up on Tuesday. So play around some of these earnings right here. And QCOM was coming back down today pretty big. That took a big dip off of that resistance. It had been looking pretty good, I had to say. And then it took a really big dip. What did they have, their earnings or something? Earnings were yesterday, so I'm not sure what it even pulled back from, but it definitely pulled back. If anyone knows, I have no idea. Intel wasn't looking too bad today. A little bit of pullback, nothing crazy right there. And how about PayPal right here? Down 43 cents, pretty much in that channel. Nothing crazy there. Snow had been looking good, and look at that jump up. I think you might get a little pullback coming, but nothing real crazy either. So that one popped up pretty well. We said it looked good, and there you go with that. And how about Dell? That one's just hitting there, probably going to pull back a little bit. And Palantir, this one did pull back some, but it got up to what, 120? Yeah, hit that 120 for us, and hit the top, rolled down a little bit. Nothing real crazy there. Sophie was looking pretty decent. Look at it just sitting there, and it does look like it wants to roll off. Marin and Riot looking really good, guys, and we've been saying that. And look at these guys, and Clean Spark looking really good for all of them. MicroStrategy up a little bit, not looking too bad. Had earnings, wasn't it today? It was. I'm not even sure what even happened, but it's just kind of flat at the top right there and not too bad. And Coinbase was down a little bit, and so was Robinhood was down a little bit, and they're pulling back, but I think they're getting ready to set up as well. And how about that DJT? That one's trying to get set up. And so is Fun as well. Let me get into that one. But yeah, Fun looks like it's trying to get Fun. Look at this thing, guys. Remember, we were saying this, and that's going to get cruising up there, PHUN. So I can't say. I was telling you guys this morning. I think they're just waiting to pressure the. I think they're waiting to pressure the Fed to get the rates down. And all of a sudden, you're going to start seeing deals coming out, and the deals that really matter, honestly, are the EU and China. I don't know if the other ones really make a difference. I mean, people want to hear that deals are being made. So he could easily be like, oh, yeah, there's 17 deals already done. Who cares? They're useless. And until the Fed brings anything down, he might have told everybody, hey, we can work out all these deals, but I need my Fed to bring this shit down. And if they don't bring these rates down, we don't have deals. So you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. But you look at this market, like I said this morning, this is what I was going to say. I don't know how you can argue the fact that you can't lower the rates. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Look at this thing. It's stuck between. It's over to 50. What is he? What are they talking about? How do you do it 3 weeks before an election, and you're running like at the top? I just don't see what they're talking about, guys. So you can't exactly tell me right here 3 weeks before an election, so you're like right in here, that there's any reason that you're hitting these top areas that you need to do anything with the rates. And it was what, a 0.5, which, remember, I told you was just to kind of screw Trump over when he won. I did say that. And now you're going to say that you can't do it? I just don't get it, guys. It doesn't make much sense to me. I know I'm not a rocket scientist, but I can look at these charts pretty well and tell you what needs to be done and when and how. And yeah, there's no argument right there. I just don't see it. So unless it was unless you come out and say it was politically motivated before the election, it's the only thing that you could say at this point. So yeah, I don't see how they don't bring the rates down for Trump unless it's politically motivated. So again, I try to leave the politics out of it, but you can't argue with that right there. So he put the market where they wanted it to prove them again, to make the pressure. So I think we're really going to see some pressure coming up, maybe this weekend and the next week. Them rates have to come down. I just don't see the argument right there that they can't. And yeah, until he brings them rates down, they're not going to do anything. They may just leave all the trade deals, could be done, and they're just leaving them on the table until they get the rates down. They can't really have the things pumping. Like I say, they don't want the market running with these rates up. It's not going to work out well. It'll end as a disaster. So they know what they need to do. They have an agenda, they have a plan. And like I say, I think we have to trust them. And I do think, and last time I said you're going to see some pressure on the Fed, a week later, he started calling him out publicly, telling him that he should probably quit. And then obviously the market started dipping hardcore, and he got a little worried because that's when he came into this territory, and it jumped into a recession looking territory where again you can trigger these stop losses, and once they go, it's you're not stopping it, guys. It's over. It's happened before, and once you get into that recession, it's really tough to dig you out of it. And it's not what he wants. He has to win these midterms, and they have to have the market crank. And we know the agenda, what needs to be done, and that's why you got to look at the charts with that factored in mind. And yeah, I just don't see the argument there. And again, I think some of these trade deals are probably already done, to be completely honest with you. And he's just working the market right now and going to work the Fed to get it down to where he needs it. And then that's a wrap. And then you're going to see these things at all time highs. I'm telling you, if they come out, they lowered the rates and he put the China and EU deal on. Guys, the thing's over here right now. It's over 616 like that. You can blink your eyes and it'll be there. And it won't even look back. It'll just blast through and keep going. So I'm just telling you what would happen. Clearly doesn't look set up to do it just at the moment, but I think it's getting close where that pressure is going to really be applied, and I just don't see the argument anymore, as I was saying before. So there you go. That's my take on that, and we'll get back to the mags or the big caps and all. But yeah, I just it just doesn't make sense to me unless it's a political move, and at this point they might as well just come out and say like, hey, we can't lower the rates because it's a political move, because 3 weeks before the election we were able to do it. What were you talking about? Like it clearly would be a political move. So I don't get it, but there you go. That's my take. MTN, good old mountain. It looks like we're climbing a mountain right here, trying to get the rates down. And this thing is trying to get better. It's just not been the best, but look at it, trying to get set up right here. It actually might have an opportunity to jump up. I remember it did that one day, and then it didn't hold itself, but now it actually looks pretty decent. So maybe the mountain can climb up a little bit. And how about McDonald's? That went down yesterday. I think they like missed their earnings or something. I'm not even sure, but it had looked like it was hitting that resistance up there and it was coming down. And yeah, it doesn't look like maybe it'll bounce back up. We'll look at it tomorrow, McDonald's, and see. And Boeing right here, let's see what that's up to. That's just stayed in that little channel, not looking bad. So Boeing looks like it's pretty safe right there. And Space has come out and trying to crawl back up. Space looks way better than it used to. IBM, just trying to cruise along there. It's not looking bad, but it's not like it's ready to pop up or anything crazy. So, and let's look at Disney right here. That is down. And I'm telling you guys, watch for any pullbacks down here. They do have their earnings coming up on the 7th. So that's what, Wednesday. And Disney's always a great opportunity when it comes into the 80s and 90s. It generally goes back into the 100 and 110 area. So I've said it to you before. And I said it the last time it did it, and it absolutely did it. So just keep your eye on it, and you can see what's going to happen. So watch for any pullback, but it's going to roll right up and get moving there, just like the rest of the market, like we've been talking about. So I just don't see. I think it's just being held down, and it will get cruising really fast. Oxy looks way better today. I don't even know if I looked at it, but that looks way better. And I'm assuming ExxonMobil does too. And they have earnings coming up almost tomorrow. So Friday earnings for ExxonMobil right here. And that could be rolling off the MACD. So we'll be keeping an eye on them for our gas and oil. And Nike right here is trying to get set back up. It was pulling back a little yesterday, and it looks much better today. And how about that DXY? That's getting set up right there. And they do not have options. That's the one that does not. So there you go. And I would say that, what the heck did I just do? I guess you can get to their websites. I didn't even know you could do that. Holy cow. I'm guessing that's what that did, right? I don't even know what the heck that is. Is that their what? Yeah, I guess it is. I had no idea if you clicked on. I had to look at that. That's wild. I didn't even know. Let's see. Let's see how many others do that. Did all our kids do this? Nah, I guess it's only certain ones that are set up that way. I was gonna say never noticed that before. But anyway, no big deal. Just something crazy, something different. And so yeah, there you go with our big caps, Mag 7, everything else, and what I think's happening in the market. Clearly, I gave you my view, and that's what we usually do. So anyway, let's look here and see S&P 500's futures rise as China signals openness to trade talks with the U.S. And I'm telling you guys, I firmly believe, and obviously I have no idea. I'm just telling you what I think's going on here. I think they already got deals pretty much worked out. I think obviously Trump and whatever his name is, it is X, Xi, whatever. I don't even know how to say it, but they know it's in their best interest, clearly, for both of them, both countries and the whole globe. If they can work well together, these things run the economy runs to all-time highs. We know teamwork always is better, and trade wars never really pay out. And look at what's going on now. So yeah, I mean, Trump could have done anything, sat down and already had a conversation with them, said, "Hey, this is my plan. This is what I need to do. You guys can look like you're killing us right now. Whatever you got to do, but I got to get these rates down. If not, this country's shitted on." And like I say, China, they have plenty of time. They could wait it out 4 years. That guy's not leaving. He's the president until I think his last breath. I'm pretty sure he changed all the laws over there. So he's a dictator. And 3.5 years is what basically Trump, a little more, but that's like 3 months to them. He does not care over there in China. And if they really wanted to make the economy go into a shithole, he has no problem with it. He'll just tell the people they have to starve and die. He's not concerned one bit. I'm telling you right now. And so people that think that China won't thrive without us, I don't think they really care. They could wait it out 10 years if they had to. They have a dictatorship over there. It's a different country. It's a different world. Let's put it that way. So, but again, I don't think it's in his best interest to do that. And I think it's better just to work things out and obviously, make the countries rich and work well together. So that's what you're going to look at. I have a feeling. And again, I think the EU, it's going to be some crazy deal with that. And that's going to open it up big time too. And obviously, you start all the way up here when you start with your negotiations and you meet somewheres. And like I was saying, I think Trump's going to have to bend a little bit more than China right now, to be completely honest. China don't have an agenda they have to do. Trump does. You got to remember that. China could wait 10 years if they wanted to. They don't care. They'll give each person like 3 things of rice and then tell them that they're good for a week. They literally, it's how that country runs. They don't care, and they'll do whatever they need to do. But again, it's not in the best interest. So I think something will happen sooner than later. And honestly, it could already been done, and we're waiting for our rates to come down. And like I was just ranting, I just don't see the argument why they don't come down now. So we'll see what happens with that. I do think we're going to see some major pressure getting stepped up for that. And anyway, let's look at Meta and Microsoft earnings help ease fears of tariff hit to the Mag 7. Futures rise as China mulls trade talks. And here's why Apple stock is getting dumped despite solid earnings. I'm not sure why. Apple warns of 900 million tariff hit. So, and honestly, I don't think we're going to see any of that happen, guys, because again, it just kind of hurts things, and it's just being put out there, honestly, as a negotiation tactics and just trying to get things moving along. And like I explained before, someone had to take it on the chin and take this economy down to get it back to where it needed to be. And so he stepped up to the plate and did it. Does it look good for him? Nah, his first 100 days don't look pretty. But like I told you, he knows he's going to be the winner at the end. Nobody will remember the first 100 days when the market goes to all-time highs and it's just running along like crazy and he smokes the midterms. You'll never remember the first 100 days. So people tend to forget about things like that. And remember, we're always 3 months ahead. So I'm telling you what's about to happen. And that's it right there, guys. We'll look at the scanners real quick. And yeah, that's how I see it. And that's what it looks like. And anything changes, I'll let you know. And I think we have like everything on because I was kind of scanning around earlier. And I think we've like literally seen everything because we've just been on point. And it's been probably fun. But let me look. KIDZ, obviously. Oh, this one I did want to add this, and I'm glad I just saw UNH, that United Health, pulled back again today. And there you go. It's all, and I'll go through the messages and crypto. I won't forget that. I just want to make sure I got through all this. And yeah, United Health all the way down here. So we are watching this bad boy. And I know Luis Rodriguez had brought that up before. I meant to write it down because it had grabbed my attention earlier. And let me go through these messages real quick because I just realized it's after 11 already and people want to go to bed. So let's see what's going on. We did do the HKPD. And if I did not do it while you're on, let me see. I totally forgot, but it was looking good. That's right. And jumping into that channel. So I would be keeping an eye on that. I did put a little marker next to that. And BTCT, we do like this BTC digital, especially when crypto starts moving. And guys, we had this one in the dollar range and ran this up to that 27 or something. So this one was a big old hit. And I just put it on the list because I follow this one. And you're right, Luis Rodriguez, this looks pretty good. So keep that on your list right there, right next to that TerraWolf, probably, because they're both kind of crypto related. And like I'm telling you guys, crypto is looking amazing, and we'll go through it. Yosh right here. I know you looked at this the other day, and wow, that jumped up for us. So that was a good call right there, Luis Rodriguez. And the CEG had run pretty big the other day, right? Did it not? I guess it ran up and running up, or am I thinking of something different? Might be thinking of something different that ran big. And this has earnings, but anyway, this is Constellation Energy, so it was definitely something else. But yeah, this one is setting up. I could see this getting up into there, into that 256. It's a 240, so definitely has some room to run right there, I must say. And what is Adobe doing this evening? Good old Adobe down 35. It wasn't looking bad. It's a little more or less flat, but look at it. Up minus 35 and then up 34 in the after hour. So just kind of flat. Let's look at that tomorrow. And that SLN was that one that you were talking about. And yeah, you said this one was looking good. And look at that thing. And you were saying they might have like a buyout or something. Them and where'd it go? SLN. I don't know why it's not coming up here. But anyway, let's see. Hold on. Yep, I thought that was gonna. Looks like it froze on there. Let me just do this and get it to work again. Come on. Launch that bad boy. There we go. All right, now we'll look at SLN again. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, yeah, that does look pretty good, Luis Rodriguez. SLN. You might want to keep an eye on that one as well because that's looking pretty good, I must say. And what else did I miss right here? Let me cruise down. I know we were talking about all that stuff, and DMN and Lily fell. Let's look at Lily. I remember you had brought up the drug ones right here. We were looking at them. Whoa, Lily fell $100. That was you did right. 104. I completely went right by 104.85. I'd say Lily fell a little bit, guys. Wow, that's a nice dip for Lily. So we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on that. What did Pfizer do right here? Down a little bit, and I'm betting it's going to pull back a hair. It was running up. It had been looking good, but yeah, look at that. That looks like it might be pulling back on Pfizer. So yeah, that Lily is a hell of a dip right there. And let's see. Boom, boom. CNA is an after hours popper. And what made the pop when the fundamentals looked bad? But I know kids had news. I don't know. Trust me, we come early before every news story. Yeah, they had something today. I know that it was Sol related, Solana related. I did see it, but again, the news means nothing to us because we're always ahead of the news. So that's how that works. If you're trying to follow the news, we're usually selling it after on that pop. So that's what I've always said about fundamentals versus technicals. I'm always 3 weeks early, at least 3 weeks early on everything. I mean, you guys know that. We're always early. This setup always happens before the money. And this is kind of what I was explaining earlier. The money always knows, guys. It always knows, believe me, ahead of time. Before the news ever comes out, the money's already moving around. And if you learn to follow the money trail, and I'll show you exactly what the money trail looks like. There you go. That's the money trail. It's called a stock chart, and that's all you need to know. The rest of it's useless. The news, the everything, and that's why I say that sometimes about these shows. They'll spend an hour talking about Tesla. About what? What are we talking about? Like, honestly, yeah, it's great to talk about a company and know what they're doing. I mean, just look at the chart, and it'll tell you exactly what's going on. Obviously, if you're a really long-term investor and you're looking at this thing like years out, you would like to know that they have robotics, this, that, and everything else. I get it. But I mean, really, you're going to spend an hour talking about one company for what? I mean, it's you're just wasting your time. And honestly, you could talk about all that nonsense for an hour, and it really means nothing because you know it's going to mean something at the end of the day. The chart, the chart means everything. So I've proved it a million times every which way that you could do it. So yeah, honestly, that's it's all about the charting, and that's really it. It only comes down to that volume, everything. It all comes in play, but the chart really, and I've pointed it out a million times, guys. You guys know. I was gonna say I know that Rocky Mountain chocolate one before. Remember that thing had like zero volume. The setup was perfect, and it ran over 100%. And there's been tons of them that did it, but I just remember that one in particular. And don't ask me how the hell I remember it. And I'm pretty sure it's that. And that's insane that I could just do that like that because I can't remember to pick up my kid from school. But I just remembered this was Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory and remembered the stock ticker. And I don't think anybody even knows this company. So it's pretty freaking wild. I'm telling you, I'm in the matrix in the stock market. And then I guess getting hit in the head real hard help that out. But anyway, this thing actually looks pretty good. Look at it. We just happened to hop on it. But yeah, this thing, I'm telling you, this thing ran over 100%. I don't remember exactly when. It might have been back here. Don't really remember. But it had like zero volume. As you can see, look, it's like under 10,000 a lot of times. And what was it today? 6,000 today. And yeah, the setup was just so perfect. It ran well over 100%. And then it hopped on to the scanners, and you saw it on like here and everywhere else. So we had already been in it when like a week or two before anybody had even known about it. So, and that's usually the case for all these. I mean, look at kids. When was kids on the list? I'll tell you exactly when because I know I've been tracking it down. I've been looking at this damn thing, and I think it grabbed our attention right off the scanner. I think we saw it, and it was like right here, guys. And I remember the low was 107. That was the lowest we saw it at. So maybe one. No, I think 107 was it. Maybe we saw it there. I don't know, but I think it was like right here. And yeah, I picked it up at 110. So we were definitely a little early and just knew it was popping. I mean, I said it yesterday. Keep an eye on this bad boy. This thing's looking great. And woke up this morning, it was already over 100%. Like it was no big deal. So yeah, it's really just the charting, honestly. And you just see these patterns happen, and that's what I said. I've been doing it for over 20 years. I'm just kind of blessed with a skill, more or less picking out patterns, and that's what I think it is. It's all just patterns, and the news really means absolutely nothing. I think the fundamentals just gives people something to talk about. To be completely honest with you, you could talk about fundamentals on any company all day long about all of them. I mean, you could go on about Tesla for 12 hours if you wanted to. Is it really going to help you make a choice if the stock's good? How the hell would you even know? You would have no idea. I'm going off of the stock chart every single time, and I guarantee I'm going to be 9 out of 10 more accurate than anybody else that looks at a fundamental. So it's just the way it works, and I've been doing it for well over 20 years. So yeah, it's never let me down. And no, they can't trade options in the morning. You're right, Janica. It is most, and that's why I said it's a lot of these penny stocks. You're not really worrying about like the big caps and stuff dipping down hard at 4 a.m. It's you can tell which ones they're going to be. To be honest with you, I mean not every time, but you usually have a pretty good idea. And that's why I say I try to stay away from certain ones because, or just trade them that one day and get out, just knowing that they're going to pop up at that 4 a.m. and then be back down lower at 7 a.m. when I can trade them in my E Trade. So Unfortunately, that is how it works. And boom, there you go. And let's see, MGY is all which went up, but PED is oil with no debt. Let's see. I'll look at them two real quick. Let's see what they're doing. I'm not even sure what they are. Magnolia Oil and Gas. So let's see. They have earnings, a gray earnings. I'm not even sure what that means, but it does mean something. And they have what? They have two earnings, like a red and a green. That's weird. Anyway, they probably just had earnings yesterday, I'm guessing. Although some companies do sometimes they skip in earnings. They whatever they do, they file an extension and then they do them right back to back. I'm not sure if that's the case here. They do dividends, it looks like, too. So not sure. I'm not familiar with this company at all. But let's look at it. It does look like it's trying to curl up, get into that 20 area right there. MGY. And let's see what it did. 19 to 21, and that's where it closed. So it did start out there, but it was up here yesterday. So it closed at 21 and it gapped down this morning, and then it tried to jump back up. So that's what it's doing. And yeah, that could be a little dip and rip look. Again, looks like it's going to roll off and get into that channel right there. So it's not looking terrible. And let's look at PED. And this is Petavico or something like that. I have no idea. I'm not familiar with either of these companies, so it's a nice little test for you. And again, you can tell nothing scripted on this show because I look at everything and anything, and even the ones I make mistakes on, and I've never even seen these two. I promise you, I'm not familiar with them. But this one looks better than the other one. What was the first one you said? MGY? I would say PED at the moment looks a little bit better than MGY. Let's see. I mean, at the moment it does, but they both have a little bit of momentum. But that one obviously took that dip. This one looks like it's going to stay in this channel and move a little bit better. But that's what they look like right there. And again, the oil and gas might be a good sector popping up right now because ExxonMobil was, or Oxy, ExxonMobil didn't look good, bad, but Oxy was looking pretty good. And they do have earnings coming up May 7th as well, but that does look pretty good to jump up there. Has some resistance there, but could move like a good $5. So there you go. We might have to take a look at some oil and gas ones. I know there's quite a few. That one's not bad. That one looks pretty good. APA. Let's see real quick. I'll just scroll down and just see if that one didn't look bad real quick. BTE. And I'll just look at like a couple more real fast. Yeah, they're not looking bad right there, I must say. Let me just take a look and see. That does have its earnings coming up, but that looks pretty good. Yeah, that one doesn't look bad either. So yeah, the oil and gas might be looking good. Look at that bad boy, BTE. So I might have to go through some of them and check them out as well. So there you go, Michael Anthony. Good look for that. And like I said, I'll look at some of them bad boys and see what's going on. And there you go. Let's look at our crypto real quick and see what's happening there. And let me hop over here and make sure I got all the messages because I'm not even sure if I did. Let me look real quick. Boom, 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 boom. Did I miss anything? I'm not even sure. There's a bunch of them on here. Let me see. Bitcoin 97,000. Is it really? LGMK. We did all them. I think I got everything. If I missed anything, just post it up real quick, and I'll take a quick look at it because I don't see anything. And let me see. Real quick. Let's go to our crypto. Bitcoin, of course, it just scrolled right by me. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'll start down here. Cardano's at 72 and Doge is at 18. Bitcoin is at 97, 124. Sol's at 150. Our Ethereum's at 1847 right there. And let me see, where was Ripple? 220 or 223. Cardano at 72. So there you go. And let's see what's going on right here with our crypto, because I've been saying it's been looking good. You guys know that. And it keeps moving up, so that's must be a good sign. And yeah, look at that thing cruising, guys. I'm telling you, it's been looking good. And we were looking at these things on here as well. So look at that thing. I mean, Jesus, these things look amazing, guys. I don't even think we got to go through them all because they look so good. Look at that, getting into the top. getting up there, trying to curl up better. That was Ethereum. Solana looking good right there. And Ripple's right here. That one looks really good. Even Doge was looking really good right there. And let's see what else we always look at. There was another one down here, Link. That was it. And that one looks pretty good. So I would say crypto looking really good right there for sure. And we've known that. So nothing new to us. And even H bar is looking really good, I must say, at that 18. So there you go, T. I think your H bar is looking good if you're listening. So there you go, everybody. I think we did that crypto. And let's just see what. Oh, we already know what's going on. I don't think we're missing anything. If we are, we'll catch it tomorrow morning. But I'm pretty sure we got everything. Trust me. We have nailed this market down pretty well. And yeah, I don't see anything. The RCT, I added that one. Like I said, I scanned it real quick before I went on, and I wrote down the couple that were looking pretty good. Let's just see. I haven't even looked at this. Haven't needed to, honestly. Pool looks good though. Looks like it could be swimming, and BKR looks pretty good too, actually, and MKTX. So here's a couple big cat. That one looks really good right there. Market access, not even sure what that is. That one might come back down. Snap on, that might be that tool company. And Otis doesn't look too bad jumping through, and Waste Management actually looks pretty good right there. So WM looking really good, I must say. Yeah, it doesn't look bad to try to jump up some more. So there you go, everybody. I would say that's a pretty good market review. And if I missed anything or you want to see anything, just shoot it over for the morning, because we'll be on at 7 a.m. We'll wrap up our week, our Friday pre-market show tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Eastern time. So if anybody's new tuning in, greatly appreciate it. Make sure you follow along on X and YouTube and all that good stuff. And of course, all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice. Always do your due diligence. And yeah, we had some nice poppers today. I mean, the two biggest ones we definitely covered. Is tomorrow going to be a crazy popper with new ones? They usually don't pop off on Fridays so much, but KIDZ, we're obviously watching that because we're already in it. And of course, our logic mark is setting up, guys. I'm telling you, this thing is not looking bad. So we'll be watching that in the morning. Let's see if it gets out of the basement. Maybe it takes a few days, but we can be patient. We had to be patient last week, didn't we? And it paid off tremendously, because it's well over 100% now. So there you go. We'll pick out the next big poppers. Oh, yeah, there's RNAZ right there. I didn't even see it on there, but it was popped up, and it is looking good. And there you go, everyone. So thanks again for tuning in. Greatly appreciate all the feedback and everybody helping out, sending in all the great stock tickers. That's what makes this show great. Like I say, I just kind of facilitate it and look at the charts. You guys send in so many great stock tickers. It makes the show go perfectly. And that's how we find every single popper, literally every single popper. And like I tell you guys, you can't trade them all, nor do you want to. You listen to the show, you know it's going to be popping. We pick out like 4 or 5 every single day. Just trade one of them smart, lock in your profits, and move on. And like I said, don't beat yourself up. I know a couple people did sell the KIDZ a little early, and it happens, guys. But guess what? When you're hitting them and they're over 100%, you just have to be happy, smile, and then just laugh about it. It is what it's all you can do, honestly. You just can't beat yourself up, and just go after the next one. And he'll probably do the same thing, and that's what I do. I laugh about it. So yeah, no one's going to trade these things perfect. I've told you before, we generally find the bottoms. Do you always catch the bottom? Not always, because you got to find it and make sure you're going back up. Sometimes it doesn't come back down there, but we make sure we get in low enough. The bottom here was what, 406 on KIDZ, and most of us were getting in at 410, 412, or 106. Or 104 was the bottom, 106 or something, and most of us were getting in at 110, 112. So, I mean, that's right about where you need to be, especially when it goes up over $8. So I'd say you're cruising along looking pretty right there. And there you go, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in. I always greatly appreciate it. You know that. We'll be on at 7 a.m. to wrap up the week pre-market style, see what's going to be popping tomorrow and what's going on. So tune in at 7 a.m. We'll be covering the market like we always do. And we'll do our Jolie's jumpers, our laptop lowdowns, and our SPY crypto. And telling you, crypto is looking great. Oh, let me look. Where's ETF at? Because it was at like a 5 million market cap. That thing needs to really get moving. It's been getting manipulated down. You can clearly see it. So let's see what's going on with this thing. It was at 4.9 now. So yeah, that thing, I mean, if it holds the base right here, it's not terrible, but it definitely can't really be dipping down much more and needs to start going up, to be honest. So we'll be keeping an eye on ETF 500 as well. Of course, I'll keep you posted on everything. And if you want to see anything, let me know and we'll take a look at it in the morning. So there you go, everyone. Have a great night. Greatly appreciate everybody tuning in, and I'll catch you guys at 7 a.m. Have a good night, everybody.